and activists who have political goals, who like the fact that everyone is confused. And then in that confusion, the people, the city council, the politicians bend over to these fake stories, this fake paranoia, and who gets hurt? The people. That's right. People are being driven mad on social media. Journalists are writing fake news and whipping up a frenzy. Regular people who are seeing this believe the worst is happening. They believe that, like all hell is breaking loose. And then they demand the police be stopped. I mentioned this earlier. There's a video from PragerU where their host, Will Witt, asks some young black men, how many unarmed black men do you think were killed last year? Maybe he said black people. And someone says 1,400. The answer is actually closer to the single or low double digits, 9 or 13, according to your source. USA Today says, in a fact check, the Washington Post lists 13 individuals shot by police, unarmed black men, or black people, I'm sorry. 13. And that's a problem. I completely believe it's a problem. But these people increased it by a factor of, 100? They believe it was substantially worse than it really was. And when you do, maybe you'll say the police must be stopped. But then we heard what happened next. People came out, smashed up the windows of the businesses in Seattle, and it was the innocent bystanders, the civilians, who ended up getting their windows smashed out. Now, full disclosure, to be completely fair and honest and transparent, a judge has now ruled the police can use their crowd control measures. So it's good news for the police, and it's good news for the citizens. The federal government is intervening to protect the people who are being victimized by mob violence. But the fake news is causing it. And the fake news also exacerbates things like this. In response to these stories about violent militias, we now have 2 militias marching in Louisville, and somebody accidentally discharged a weapon, it would seem. That's how insane and crazy things are getting. The more the media whips up this game of telephone in a desperate attempt to get clicks and get traffic and produce news, the worse things are going to become. I bring you back to this story from Vox, where they say, Portland, polarization, and the crisis of the Republican Party. They actually say that, a significant portion of the population is okay with what's happening as long as it hurts their enemies. They're creating the other, the villains. They're blaming you. I'll blame the media, okay? The media is a very tiny fraction of industries, of corporations, with tons of power that are manipulating people through laziness, ineptitude, and sometimes willful manipulation. That includes Vox. But Vox wants you to be angry at the Republican Party, saying that they want you to be attacked. You know what? I will absolutely take some criticism because I slam the Democrats all the time. But I slam the political interests, the Democratic Party and the media, very much like I'm doing now. I don't know what the solution is. What I do know is you're being lied to. And these lies are making everything get worse. The people in Portland who are attacking the federal government could stop at any moment. Realize this. The far left that comes with commercial-grade fireworks, like I showed you from Bellingcat, could just stop. The peaceful protesters who demand justice from the feds could also demand that the far left stop throwing these weapons, like they did in that one famous viral video where the man is breaking up the ground. They pick him up and they bring him to the police, but they don't do it. They don't. The polarization will just keep getting worse. So you know what? Vox is correct. There are people who are okay with this so long as it hurts their enemies. And so long as we follow down this track of media playing a game of telephone instead of sourcing the root of their information, things are going to get worse and worse. So I'll tell you what I try to do. I try to make sure that when I report on something, I'm looking at the source information. I don't settle for some op-ed from a conservative website. I use a third-party fact-checking agency, NewsGuard, on all of my sources, and they even give Vox a green light. I try to make sure that if someone makes a claim, I watch the video. And there you can see that these people don't do it. July 24th, this is just yesterday, they took a week-old story and rewrote it again to its extreme. And so did Bloomberg. So maybe this is why they're the enemy of the people. Maybe this is why Trump is right. The fake news is damaging this country beyond recognition. You can criticize Trump. You can say he's the worst president in the world, and you can vote for Joe Biden if you want, or the Green Party, or the Libertarian Party, anybody you want. I'm not here to tell you what you should believe morally, but I am here to tell you that you're being lied to. I'll leave it there. Share the video if you think it's important people see how bad this stuff is. Otherwise, I don't know what else to do. But I will see you all in the next segment coming up at 6 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimCastNews. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you.
Yeah. Kind of fell right next to the cop car. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, my arms are getting tired.
Joe Rogan is out. He is leaving Los Angeles, moving to Texas because Los Angeles sucks and we all know it. Okay, I'm kidding. But Los Angeles is overcrowded. It's got a ton of problems, especially with the rise of COVID. And people are starting to leave big cities. It's not just Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is more like a canary in a coal mine. You see, Joe has the means, the capability, but actually a disincentive. What's really fascinating about this story is that a lot of people are leaving New York, LA, and big cities for obvious reasons. The rise in violence, the overcrowding, homelessness, like he mentions. COVID has really scared people, and they got out of big cities due to proximity to other people. Density was a problem. Joe Rogan has the ability to basically snap his fingers and relocate. Now, I know he's got a company, he's got a studio, he's got to move. I wonder if his new studio will look different, or he'll keep it the same. But he's also got some disincentives. He's a comedian. He's in LA. This is the place to be, right? Well, even with that, he's out. And we're seeing something truly interesting, I suppose. This is a story from a couple weeks ago. Shark Tank investor Herjavec. We're about to see the biggest exodus from cities in 50 years. Guess what? I want to read this story about Joe and why he's moving. I'm leaving too. Right now I'm in the Philadelphia metro. I'm very, very close. City, it's like a 15, 20-minute drive. I'm just in the suburbs. So I'm in South Jersey, but I'm just on the other side of the river. Very easy to go to the city. I don't want to be here. First of all, New Jersey's trash. I don't want to be in Jersey. And I don't want to be this close to a city for all the obvious reasons. Population density. You've got COVID, riots, all that stuff. I'm not going to stick around moving into November. No, thank you. I don't think November is when everything's going to break down. But I feel like things are going to break down. So it's not just Joe. It's not just me. It's potentially the biggest exodus from cities, like that Shark Tank investor said. Think about what that means for you, your investments, your homes, your property, your assets, your retirement. Think about what that means. Let's read the story from The Blaze. They say, Joe Rogan, host of one of the most popular podcasts on the planet. I'm going to go ahead and say it's the most popular podcast on the planet. Said that he decided to move from Los Angeles, California to Texas because he wanted a little bit more freedom. And there it is. I agree. I also want more freedom. I don't like this place. I'm going to go somewhere way more free. It's going to be a lot of fun. Rogan explained further the decision behind his move during his podcast with guest Joe DeSena, the CEO and founder of Spartan and Death Race. I'm out of here, said Rogan. I'm going to go to Texas. I just want to go somewhere in the center of the country, somewhere it's easier to travel to both places, and somewhere where you have a little bit more freedom. Also, I think that where we live right here in Los Angeles is overcrowded. And I think most of the time that's not a problem, but I think it's exposing the fact that it's a real issue. when you look at this number of people that are catching COVID because of this overpopulation issue. When you look at the traffic, when you look at the economic despair, when you look at the homelessness problem that's accelerated radically over the last 6 years, 7, 10 years, I think there's too many people here. I think it's not tenable. So he says, I don't think that's manageable. I don't want, I'm just going to, you get the point. Joe's leaving. He said it in his own show. Maybe you heard it. But here's the bigger issue, and here's why I lead with Joe Rogan. I lead because you'd think that with, he does the stand-up stuff, but because of COVID, he can't anymore. And that's the big picture. Joe has every reason to stay in Los Angeles. You got tons of celebrities. That's good. That's easy sourcing of guests for his show. Joe can do comedy in LA. Easy sourcing for venues. But he can't now. It's hard to do sit-down guest podcasts. I know, we do one here, and we haven't had a guest in months because of COVID. You can't do stand-up for the most part in a state like California because of COVID. So they have removed all of the reasons why anyone would stay in these places, and with it, someone as wealthy and determined and powerful as Joe will be leaving and taking that tax base with him. CNBC reports Shark Tank investor Robert Herjavec said Thursday he believes the coronavirus pandemic has shifted attitudes about city living, altering the dynamics of the real estate market for years ahead. This is one of the greatest moves to the suburbs from urban areas since the 50s or 60s, he said. I recently moved out of LA into a suburban area, and I can tell you on a very personal level, my area is on fire in the suburbs. Wow. Quote, everybody wants to leave large urban communities and move out into the suburbs, said Herjavec. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, who also owns stakes in many small and medium-sized businesses. And I think urban real estate is going to hurt for a little bit. I believe as well, yeah. On Wednesday, new data showed New York City apartment vacancy in June hit a record high of 3.67%, more than 10,000 apartments listed on the market that month, an 85% increase with June of last year, according to a report from Miller Samuel and Douglas Elliman. The report largely attributed the spike to brokers being unable to show apartments due to business restrictions. Yikes, man. You may have seen me, I talked about this in New York City, that in the past 30 days, there have been about, I think it's 7,000 listings.
We get a few hundred
in the past 90 days, there were 12,000, which means, do the math, the past 30 days have seen a major spike in listings. The same is true right now for Los Angeles. In the last 30 days, in LA proper, it's like the county, I suppose, there's 2,367 listings. In the past 90 days, there's 4,389. What that means is the last month has double what the previous months had in terms of listings. Now, obviously, some listings go away. That's the important factor. Some people buy things within this time frame, so it's not perfect math. I've tried to make that clear. I don't think I did a good job of it. But we are seeing more listings, and that's a point brought up specifically. There's more listings, and it's for a variety of reasons. Not just because people are leaving, also because many people can't actually go and see properties, so they end up stagnating. But that doesn't necessarily explain why the spike is occurring. So let's try and break the math down. Some people said, Tim, you're missing the point. The listings from 90 days ago, many of those actually get bought up. I say, no, you're missing the point. They can't show the properties. Get it? They can't show the properties. Nobody can rent them. The riots break out in June, and listings spike. That's the point. I know, the math's not perfect, but get the point. Cities are in free fall. People are leaving. Nobody wants to live here for a variety of reasons. And you're seeing it now with Joe Rogan, and you're seeing it with me personally. When COVID broke out, the governor of New Jersey did such a horrifying job. I'm not talking about like, wow, what a bad politician. I'm talking about killing elderly people in nursing homes level bad job. And that's scary. I'm talking about sending in police to a local gym because they were doing social distancing workouts, and that was too much for them to bear. Meanwhile, the Dollar General, literally attached to the same building, had normal traffic. Why? It made no sense. The whole thing was ridiculous. So I'm done with this, okay? I don't want to be in an urban area. I don't want to be in New Jersey, and I'm going to get out same as most of these other people. Realogy Holdings CEO Ryan Schneider told CNBC on Thursday that the company is also observing the coronavirus's impact on where people are looking to live. The suburbanization trend has been the strongest in the New York City area, he said, but it's not limited to it. The real estate company, which owns such brands as Coldwell Banker and Century 21, also is seeing the trend in California and other areas. In every urban geography, the web traffic of people and what they're searching for has changed versus 6 to 12 months ago to be much more suburban. Even in the urban geographies where the rotation has not happened in the actual housing purchase and sales yet, the consumer searching is going in that direction, and we continue to see that through the whole COVID crisis in the last 3 months. The coronavirus pandemic has brought about questions for the real estate industry, both in the commercial and residential sectors. On the commercial side, uncertainty persists about the long-term shift to remote work, which many companies adopted in March in a bid to slow the spread of COVID-19 and how it will impact demand for office space. You know what? I'll wrap it up with a relative non sequitur. War with China. And immediately everybody went, wait, what, Tim? What? We're talking about cities and economy. No, hold on. I want to go there. A lot of people are fleeing cities. We are decentralizing our economy in many ways. We're moving out, and this is going to help urbanize certain areas in the burbs and also suburbanize certain rural areas. Not all good, not all bad. Some of it is good. We are facing a potential war with China, a dramatic escalation. The exodus from cities into more rural and suburban areas can help make sure that if we do get attacked, we will be decentralized a bit more. If everybody lives in New York and LA, then in a war they just target those cities, and then we're in serious trouble. So for all of the bad that's come with COVID and all of the bad that's come with the riots, it's going to help us tactically, I suppose, if we do end up seeing a hot war with China. Though I do think it's more likely going to be cyber warfare. I think it's going to be information war. We'll see how things play out. But there is a net benefit to everything we've seen. I think the Second Amendment is now stronger than ever. I went out and bought a bunch of guns the first time. A lot of other people bought a bunch of guns, and a lot of people moved out of big cities. So we're seeing it for a lot of reasons. I don't know what we can expect going forward. But I'll tell you this. I do not want to be where I am by November. That's just me. I don't know if you guys want to stick around in your city.
Young lady right there sitting down. All right. Hey.
Do not be in the city when the election time comes around. Maybe I'm paranoid, but I'll tell you this. Remember when I said a year ago on the Rogan podcast, things are going to get spicy, it's going to get crazy, and I'm building a van to GTFO? Well, the spiciness is here. 2 months of rioting, all right? Don't take my word for it. Maybe it all calms down. I don't know. But I'm going to take care of myself. I hope you do the same. I got one more segment coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly. Peace-loving black Trump super supporter shot dead hours after giving pro-Trump interview. A man named Burnell Trammell was gunned down in Milwaukee shortly after an alleged dispute over his Trump signs. Why doesn't his Black Lives Matter to Black Lives Matter agitators? I'm not a fan of that question. I don't know. I really doubt people are going to speak up for this guy. I think it's fairly obvious to a lot of people. But I would say his life does matter. The real question is, why doesn't his life matter to the media? This is why I'm a critic of the media all the time. The protests, the riots, the escalation, it's always because the media props up these stories. Not this one, but the other stories. And they falsely frame them. So when George Floyd lost his life, everybody in the media agreed this was an atrocity. It was horrifying. Let's blast it all over the news. I'd like to see something similar for this man. He was a black super Trump supporter. He has signs. 2020 Trump, 2020, re-elect Trump, 2020. He knows what 2020 is all about. Holding a sign that says, vote Donald Trump 2020. Apparently someone had talked to him about his support for the president, and then shortly later, when the guy came back, somebody had gunned this man down. And they believe it may have been related to his signs. I believe this man's life matters very much so. I believe Black Lives Matter. Now the movement, the fundraising, the weird donations, the far left that are co-opting that name are turning it into something entirely different. If we want to talk about fighting for justice, it includes this man. I'd love to see the media actually bring it up and say Black Lives Matter. I don't think they will, though. I've gotten a lot of comments because of what's been going on in Portland. And I'm talking about the police, they're being attacked, and sure enough, like clockwork, you get a bunch of people commenting on Facebook saying things like, you never speak up about police brutality, blah, blah, the fake narrative. The fake narrative. How many moderate, liberal, independent, conservatives, not progressives, did speak up about George Floyd? Basically every single one. All of them. I mean, you saw Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, talking about George Floyd. I dedicated countless hours to what had happened to George Floyd. I even read the coroner's report. And this is never enough for these people. And then when I put out a video like this, talking about the horrifying tragedy that is the loss of this man's life, they pretend like it's biased, like I don't actually care about the cause, because it supports a Trump supporter. This man should not have died. He should not have died. And we don't know why. Now, Trump supporters are already saying he's a hero and he's a martyr. At the very least, there are two ways to view it. If it's true this man got into an argument over his support for the president and was killed because of it, you better believe they will view him as a martyr, someone who died defending what he believed in. But at either rate, it's a sign of the escalation of crime. The crime that's been going around across this country, escalating, specifically murders and gun deaths. Either way, he's a victim of everything that's happened in the past 2 months. I mean, for all we know, he owed somebody money, but I really doubt that was the case. What we have gotten, and you know what, regardless of that, what have we earned, truly earned from all of these riots? The far left has brought about police demoralization, the defunding of the police, and an escalation in lethal crime. That's all we've really gotten. And today, riots are still expected. They're expected to get worse than they've ever been, and they're escalating. And the real problem that I see is the media, because they're not going to put him on CNN primetime. They're not going to put him on MSNBC primetime. They're not going to say his life mattered. They're going to say he was internalizing racism or some other stupid nonsense, and they will completely ignore it. And when I post this on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere else, they'll say I'm biased and only bringing it up to support Trump. They'll ignore every video I did about George Floyd. They'll ignore every time we've talked about Breonna Taylor.
Do you have No
Because
Man's
to
Sky?
them, it's all about power. That's why they won't talk about this man, who should still be alive today. Let's read this story.
I have it. I never played it.
This is from
it's
Biz
only
Pack Review.
10
They say,
gigabytes.
Marxist
I played it a
Black
little
Lives
bit,
Matter
but not
activists
that
are
much,
curiously
but I was
silent
playing Imperium.
after Black Trump supporter
I really
Bernal
enjoyed
Trammell
what I was doing
was
in
murdered in
No Man's
Milwaukee
Sky as a
hours after he
competitor
reportedly
Imperium,
gave
I
an
guess,
interview explaining
for
why
the
he
reason that
supports
I was
President
playing
Trump.
it.
Police are investigating the possibility of a political motive for Trammell's
Give that
tragic
another
killing.
shot.
News Talk 1130 reported. According to the Daily Callout, Trammell, 60, was gunned down on July 23rd near the very spot where he gave a video interview a few hours before, explaining
they
why he
nerfed
supported
the
Trump.
cold diamond
The motive is
mining.
not clear, including whether the slang was tied to Trammell's political beliefs or Trump support. Trammell was a Rastafarian street preacher who advocated for President Trump's re-election both in front of Milwaukee City Hall and in his black majority neighborhood. This guy apparently was very well known. I don't know anything about his beliefs. None whatsoever. He's got, there's photos from a blog. He's got a bunch of stuff I don't understand about the tribes of Israel and things like that. Maybe he believes things I really disagree with. That's entirely possible. In fact, I bet it's likely. In all likelihood, this man probably believed a bunch of stuff I probably think was crazy. It doesn't matter. This man is allowed to stand out with his signs and preach what he believes. That is the First Amendment. And we want to protect life. This is the most fascinating thing to me, is how blatantly obvious it is right now, with all of the fake news about Portland, how political everything is. The lies about every single action taken in Portland. The federal police standing on their property, being pelted with bottles and water and milkshakes and commercial-grade fireworks. People are cutting through these fences with circular saws and starting fires. And the feds are standing there for the most part. But whenever they finally come out and try and disperse the crowd, now they're the evil villains. And that's why we're not going to get this from MSNBC, from the New York Times. I mean, maybe. Look, let's be fair. But the reality is, what we learn from stories like this is that the news cycle is currently controlled by political operatives. That's it. I find it really funny because we often hear people say, like, the media won't cover it. Well, local media tends to. But national media is absolutely dominated by left-wing voices. And this is the fault, in some ways, of conservatives. Conservatives react to the left-wing narrative instead of presenting a narrative and rolling with it. I don't know why they shouldn't do that. Many people have talked about it. It's also true that conservatives tend to comment on news reported by the left instead of reporting it on their own, which is why it's great to see BizPac Review bringing these stories up. Now, they absolutely do challenge the Marxist Black Lives Matter individuals, and I will absolutely say that it's unfortunate that the phrase Black Lives Matter has become a slogan for a far left group of individuals. Now, at its core, the true meaning of what it is, does the life of a black person matter? You better believe it, and no one doubts that, except for a few fringe group of awful racist people. Most people would see this story, no matter what their political affiliation, and they'd shake their head and they'd be sad. It's just an old man with some signs, bro. Calm down. Why do you gotta kill somebody over this stuff? It's horrifying. The same is true for people who are victims of police brutality. We gotta have accountability here. Instead, what we're getting is political operatives in the media and on the ground taking advantage of the sentiment. And that's why you will not get this. You see Fox 6 News, they covered it. Local news will cover it. People of Milwaukee will mourn for a man that they knew, that they saw preaching all the time. And maybe a lot of people think he's crazy. I'll tell you what, I know some pretty crazy people, and I would not wish this on them. No, I'm not even I'm opposed to the death penalty, man. I'm very much opposed to this. Let's read a little bit more. Police say Trammell was shot to death around 12:30 p.m. in front of his business, Expression Publications. Trammell's storefront is plastered with Trump 2020 signs. Reggie Moore, the director of the Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that he had intervened in a dispute between Trammell and a young man that was related to a Trump sign that Trammell was carrying. I mean, well, there you go. The police haven't confirmed it, but we got a witness, right? It's the director of the Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, not even some random witness. Trammell was well known in his neighborhood for his pro-Trump advocacy and his religious preaching. Neighbors fondly remembered Burnell as a friendly, peace-loving man. The guy was just full of love, local residents Dick Nelson told Fox News. Adebisi Agoro said whether you agree with Trammell's political views or not, people respected him because he had conviction, unlike countless political phonies who chant hollow mantras but don't understand what they're advocating. He was a community figure, Agro said. I respected him because he had a position. He got his opinion on why he feels that way, and I'm not going to knock him. Senator Ron Johnson tweeted, Burnell Trammell was known to many in Milwaukee. My condolences to his family and friends. I'm glad to see that there are people speaking up for this guy, and I'm sad to see that this has happened. And I know, most of you know, he's not going to be given the proper respects that he actually deserves. What we're going to see is a far-left machine. I believe that right now, a lot of what we're seeing from the political establishment in support of Black Lives Matter is specifically because Donald Trump's support in the black community is going way, way up, according to several different polls. Not all of them, but there's at least 3 or 4 polls showing Donald Trump has massive support from the black community. Donald Trump today retweeted a man who was talking about how the Democrats don't care about you. They rejected the stimulus bill all the same. And that it's never been about, race. They don't care about your race. It's not even about Trump. It's just about power. Trump retweeted that. We're seeing, we've all seen Kanye West. We're seeing the rise of prominent black conservatives. And this is what the message that gets sent to people. Now, some people have pointed out, we don't know 100% what exactly happened to this guy. However, they do make note that black conservatives are frequently attacked with, accusations. They're called racial slurs. I've personally witnessed these things. This is what I just can't stand about the modern left. This is the nightmare scenario. When I talk to my friends and they're saying all of this propaganda, and guess what? They're all white. You start to see how truly horrifying it is, especially for me coming from Chicago. A large group of protesters in Chicago apparently went to the mayor's house, demanding the police be defunded. Do you know where the crime happens in Chicago? Like the violent crime, the murder? It happens in the poor areas. It's not exclusively the black community. It's the South Side, and it ranges, there's different minority groups across the South Side. We need the police. I've had my problems with cops, 100%. But these are the areas that need the police the most. to be held accountable for one, but to actually make sure the crime doesn't happen. Now, of course, when a crime is happening, the police can't get there in time. They're not perfect. But the police patrolling can help prevent this stuff. They can help get criminals off the street to make sure that people don't lose their lives. And what ends up happening? Mostly white protesters from affluent areas that don't experience this crime go to the mayor and say, defund the police. It is shockingly racist. It is shockingly white supremacist. Now, maybe I don't mean it in the proper way they use it. They claim proper. What I mean is, when you have a bunch of white people who live in, affluent suburbs, and these are the progressives are mostly college educated, making $100K a year. That's the average progressive activist, according to the Hidden Tribes report. When they don't experience any of this crime or violence, and then go to the mayor and say, take away their police. This is exactly the problem with the defund the police movement. In the end, what do you get? Just like with the McCloskeys, who are able to hire private security, you will see rich people, when the police are defunded, hiring private security guards, buying weapons, and defending themselves adequately. It will be the poor communities that will have no way of protecting themselves. It'll be the poor communities that are overrun with violent crime, taking away their resources. It's truly a fascinating thing to behold. That instead of saying police accountability and police reform, they're saying defund. In some instances, disband, and others, abolish. Just get rid of it? Imagine if they went around saying that Medicare wasn't functioning properly, that it was corrupt, therefore we must abolish Medicare. You'd be like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Abolish Medicare? Why would you do that? People need access to medicine, even if it isn't perfect. Yeah, people need access. You'd say, reform it. Fix it. Fix the problem. That's not what they're advocating for, though. They say defund means defund. It means take their money away. They say, yes, we mean abolish the police. And in the end, it is the poor who will suffer. And the rich will have their fancy private communities, their gated communities, and they'll put armed guards in front of them. Many of these suburbs will put up fences and gates, and they'll protect them. And they don't experience this level of crime anyway because they don't live in these big cities. But they want to take away from you, the people who swore an oath to uphold the Constitution and protect you. That's what they want to take away from you. Imagine if the fire department came out to try and put a fire out, and then they fumbled around, fell down, and actually made the fire worse. And so they came out and said, abolish the fire department. You'd be like, wait a minute, there's still fires here. Okay, we gotta get a better fire department. Now, to be fair, many of them advocate for new kinds of policing. But if that were the case, you don't abolish the police because a small percentage, and a very small percentage, of police encounters go wrong. They have ulterior motives. They're lying. And that's why they won't tell you the story of this man, Burnell Trammell. They won't tell you his story. They're not going to prop him up. They're not going to put it on the website. They're not going to prop up a Trump supporter. Of course they will. It's sad stuff, man. We got some more. They say naturally the Marxist Black Lives Matter movement said nothing about this black life that was lost due to street violence. Why? Presumably because Trammell was murdered by a white cop. Wasn't. Presumably because he wasn't murdered by a white cop. Black Lives Matter, they show this tweet. 7 years of fighting, growing, loving, and winning. Every day we have shown up for Black Lives Matter, and we will continue. Deep bow of gratitude to all chapters and black-led groups showing up for Black life. Yeah, for sure. I'm down with that. I saw a video from PragerU, and Will Witt, their host, asks a group of young black men, I believe it was like at a skate park, maybe not, how many unarmed black men had been killed, or black people had been killed by the police? And one guy says 1,400 in the past. He's like, in the past year, how many people have been killed? He's like 1,400, hundreds, thousand maybe. The answer is, depending on your source, 9 or 13 have been shot and killed. The amount of individuals who have been choked or killed is a bit higher, but still extremely low relative to the hundreds of millions of police encounters that occur across this country every year. But the narrative is that the cops are bad, the cops are evil, the cops are doing wrong, and it's propaganda. For those that aren't familiar, because I mentioned something called the scaling problem very often, but I do want to make sure I can mention it in this scenario to explain how they manipulate the media. If 100 cell phones, brand new cool cell phones were released to 100 celebrities, and 1% was broken, that's a lot. You get one guy going, hey, my phone broke, and people will be like, how'd you break it? Why'd it break? That's weird. Most people wouldn't care. You hear one story about a broken phone, so what? But that's still 1%. Now, what happens if they issue 100 million of these new phones? And it goes out to everybody, but 1 million of them are broken. That's still 1%, the same margin of error. But now 1 million people are screaming, and everyone hears it and says, whoa, what's happening? All of the phones are broken. That's how social media works. One person in Portland gets grabbed in a viral video. A second person gets grabbed in Portland in a viral video. 2 videos. That's it. 2 videos. And the officers are wearing police patches, and they have the patches on their arm identifying who they are with their badge numbers. And now there is a widespread narrative that secret police are roaming the streets of Portland, snatching up peaceful protesters who did nothing wrong, which is absolutely not true. This is the scaling problem. Because now with social media, you will have 100,000 people all saying the same thing, playing a game of telephone where they regurgitate fake news and then spew it out. And every time someone tweets a bit of fake news, someone else picks it up. It's called information laundering. And then eventually you end up with people who believe just absolutely psychotic information. Now, I've experienced this myself. There was a post on a far-left forum about bringing guns out in, I believe, Portland, and this was like a year ago. And so I tweeted it out like, a far leftist is talking about bringing guns. Someone else then screen grabbed it, wrote an article, and then another article emerged and says the far left is arming up for a riot, and that's information laundering too. It's not unique to any one faction. The difference? Conservatives and moderates will be banned from social media like that. The left is allowed to engage in overt and insane conspiracy theories. I mean, take a look at what Twitter did with QAnon. I don't know much about it, nor do I care. I hear it's just a lot of bunk nonsense. So Twitter banned 7,000 accounts, shut down a bunch of links, and said, no more of this. Okay, fine, sure, whatever. Your platform, right? But when it comes to left-wing conspiracy theories and fake news, and lies like the police, they just let it go. You literally have 2 conspiracy theories. One that alleges Trump is fighting the deep state. To clarify what I mean about not knowing a whole lot about it, that's the gist of what I know about it, like Trump is fighting with the deep state or something. That there is an establishment government that is out of control and fighting against the president that must be stopped. On the left, you have an insane conspiracy that Trump is a Cheeto dictator fascist who has deployed secret police around the country, he hasn't, to secretly rendition and detain people. It's basically the same thing. What's the difference? And now thousands of people are showing up and attacking federal law enforcement officers. Why does Twitter allow one and not the other? All that matters in the end is that they're skewing people's perspective of what's going on, leading to a lot of dumb people to just believing the fake news, ignoring stories like this, and banning those who dare call it out. In the end, regular Americans who aren't politically active are probably sitting there right in the middle as the whole narrative shifts to the far left. In the end, I imagine regular people aren't going to be happy with this. There was an ad that was produced about the riots in Portland. I tweeted about this. And it shows the mom block linking arms. It shows the federal law enforcement officers beating that guy who was standing, in front of the fire, the guy who claimed to be a Navy vet. And they said that Trump is a fascist, he's a dictator, and this is Trump's secret police and all that. And I thought to myself, they really underestimate American selfishness. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean, Americans, like any other person, are focused on improving their lives, taking care of their friends and their family. It's what we do. Not all of us are thinking globally. Though many of us do want to make sure we're respectful to our communities and the larger global community within reason, most people right now are probably just thinking about what I've got to do, what work I'm doing, what I'm going to eat for lunch. And guess what? They are not rioting, least of all, protesting. So when this ad was purchased, and it shows the police pushing on a group, and there's tear gas everywhere, what do you think Americans will be thinking when they see that ad? The idiots who produced the ad will, because they have no idea what's really happening in this country, they're of the perspective that as soon as the American people see these police officers, tear gassing people, that they'll side with us. Do you know what people really see? They see a riot. That's it. That's all they see is a riot. And they get scared. And then you say Trump is going to send in the police to shut everything down. They're going to be like, good, make it stop. Period. They're not protesters. They're not rioters, and they're not going to sympathize with those who are rioting and protesting. And that's where we are today, man. I don't know, kind of broke away off the subject at hand, but let me make sure I wrap it up with, talking about this man, Burnell Trammell. I don't know what these signs mean about Prophet Jonah. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about Rastafarianism or whatever he represents. I don't know who he was. I don't know if he was a good guy, a bad guy. I don't know if he saved a bag of kittens moments before this. I don't know if he hurt a bag of kittens. I don't know anything. Point is, he deserves to have his story told. He should be alive right now. His life mattered. The same as Breonna Taylor, the same as George Floyd, and these people who have lost their lives. His life mattered. Of course, it's not going to be mainstream, high-level news cycle news unless we decide it is. Like David Dorn as well. Fine, CNN, MSNBC, they'll ignore it. Well, then we won't. We will be the ones who say Breonna Taylor should be alive. George Floyd should be alive. And this man, Burnell Trammell, should be alive too. How about we be the ones to make sure we say that these lives, the lives of people, they matter. And I'll tell you this, as I've said before, if someone comes to me and says Black Lives Matter, I'll say, here. You're right, they do. I think the lives of everybody matters. And if you want to use this to represent the loss of life in this community that should not have happened, I will stand with you when civil rights are violated. And if you want to talk about the police officers who are being injured and being blinded, 3 officers may have permanently lost eyesight due to the lasers in their faces, their lives matter as well. You want to talk about the cops who've lost their lives in the line of duty? Their lives matter all the same. You have no right to take someone's life. I 100% oppose the death penalty. There's a much larger conversation around this because, just to clarify as we wrap up, when we defend ourselves, sometimes tragedy happens, and we should never celebrate having to end someone's life, in the name of defense of ourselves or our communities. That's the main point I want to say when I say I oppose the death penalty. But sometimes, things are bad. In this instance, this dude should be standing there on the street corner today holding up his sign, and he's not. But he mattered. So it's up to you guys to make sure that people hear this and learn about it and ask the question, why won't the media bring this guy up? I'll see you all at 4 p.m. over at timcast.net. Thanks for hanging out.
But we begin, as promised this evening, with Congressman Ted Yoho. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I know it's been...
Immigrants are welcome here. Don't give in to racist fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Don't give in to racist fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Don't give in to racist fear. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. That's right. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. That's right. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go.
all the pro photographers that are out here taking their money shots, and I guess as soon as they're uploaded will be the paycheck response. Whew. Good heavens. So definitely looks like they're flushing out. They got a hydrant down here. They also have a hydrant right here that they're working on. We've got a whole bunch of fire vehicles that are putting this out. We have our SWAT folks here. We have our normal SPD here doing crowd control, and they're working on getting this. It looks like there's a couple of fires going on. Oh my goodness gracious! There you go. Calendar. And see there, that's why you want to be a fireman. The weather is really warm today. And there was a judge that made some decisions last night that will directly affect the protesters in less healthy ways and more along the lines of like the Portland folks did. So they'll definitely have some mixed feelings, some angry feelings about that.
So. No, everybody's waiting at the intersection here. I believe they're waiting for everybody to back up or to come together. But
One second.
Don't forget, if you're dehydrated, please grab some water. If you need a medic or a process, please find a medic if you need one. I'll come in the corner over there. So please do not get dehydrated. Take care of yourself.
Drink your water, guys. Drink your water.
My goodness, you guys are amazing. Give yourself a round of applause. My name is Rabbi Michael Ben Yosef for my friends who just joined us. And I'm president of Tikkun Kai International, the founder of Chicago Activist Coalition for Justice.
That's right. You can clap for that. That's right.
The Almighty said to the Jew that has inspiration to take whatever the scripture says that how he wants to use it as. And when I was ordained as a rabbi in 2014, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my rabbinic work or how I wanted to use it after I was ordained. And I went to my first protest in Chicago. And I felt the power. I felt the influence. I felt the sacrifice to stand it for something that's not right.
That's right.
And I began to fall in love.
stopped right here. Now, this restaurant doesn't have anything to do with us, truthfully. Being completely honest, you know, it's nice, but it don't got nothing to do with us. This restaurant opening is a way to suppress our voice. Shut up.
We won't shut up!
So, a lot of the people that you saw out protesting with us, they out here eating, enjoying themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. As long as we make some noise! Brothers and sisters in Portland are being kidnapped and beat, pepper sprayed and jumped, harassed and bullied. I can't eat at a nice restaurant like this while my brothers is hurting. Is not okay. It's not okay. So we came together and united the city. Let's go! Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Harlem, because y'all are your own borough.
Had to disperse.
How did they get together?
They walk.
Okay, and they all have the same shirts on?
The color matching is primarily for solidarity, but other than the quite obvious hashtag on the back of their shirts, I'm not at liberty to discuss who they are.
Okay. So are they carrying guns for protection?
Yeah, I would say so.
To initiate?
Protection.
Protection.
Why were all of the other people there carrying guns?
Oh, I'm not defending anybody or saying anything. I'm literally
Up top.
Police are, yeah. So at the East Precinct, the police are up top. Protesters here down below. Not sure that we got people on the fence line. I think we hear a window. I can't see it though. Very well might be different glass they put. Oh, okay. So they took the wood down off the East Precinct. Now there's glass. The glass is all there. It's been replaced. It's been wood the last few days. It looks like everybody's moving around to the left. So, or actually these windows, let's see. All right, the front's still boarded up. We gotta now head westbound on Pine Street. There were a few people on the fence line, but they hopped down, so that's where they're. It looks like everybody's passing the East Precinct. This will be the second time now I'm passing the East Precinct. So. Department.
Because I'm not enemies with them.
I wanted to let them go. How are y'all? Okay, so I'm gonna say bye for now. We got back to Cherry Park. So stay safe. Yeah, I know that girl. I really tried. Anyway, it was good talking to you.
Pleasure speaking to you.
I'm gonna let these guys do their thing.
I know we might just seem like a bunch of angry people, but when you've faced 400 years of oppression, at some point you have to get angry.
Yeah.
We've tried this peacefully and that didn't work.
All right, well, I appreciate you speaking to me, letting me see a little bit of y'all's side.
Some kind of large firework or something. Firework day sound like a M80, a M1000. I'm not saying that's what it is, but definitely loud like that. Several explosions heard over here now by the East Precinct. There is some damage to some windows. Yeah. Crowds now passing the East Precinct. Explosions can be heard behind us. We've it's loud. We hear some ringing. We hear some sirens. We can hear sirens in the background as we move past the East Precinct. Oh! Some kind of shrapnel just came in. That's the SPD is behind us. And now the SPD is behind us. And so I don't know if the last projectile came from them or not, but SPD is now on the scene. They're behind. SWAT's now here on the ground. How the fuck did we go from all the way to the back? Jesus Christ, man. So SPD, looks like they've deployed now around the precinct. What we see here is we see officers on bikes, we see SWAT.
Anyone's still
and
here.
We also, we see Homeland Security. Homeland Security is back there, the next block there by Fire Station 25 is Homeland Security. We see officers now deploying out with batons and a few other things that are here.
Stay safe, Omar.
Yeah, you stay straight, Stu. Okay, thank you.
Bring it back.
So we have SPD now moving down the street. Protesters here. Point this out. Man, that's from my own heart. It looks like the only people over here right now is photographers. I'm okay, no fault. So. Police are now moving forward posture position. They came down about 10 feet. You got about four or five bike cops. You've got protesters right here. And once again, this is all happening right by our office.
Hey, you ready this time, boss? Hey, they're not even trying to communicate. I just trying to walk up there and communicate with them. They won't communicate with me. I literally just trying to walk up there and communicate with them. I don't know who the captain is, though. But they're not even trying to communicate with our group. We have been in the line, but that's not all of us. can't see shit. I don't look.
SPD now there's more reinforcements up here. Now here comes the move back. So we're familiar with the move back, and usually how that works with move back. Here comes the flash. There goes the flash bang. Oh shit! He just threw it. What are you doing? God damn it! Hey fam! No, I got it. I got it. Get away from me. Here goes another flash grenade.
Begin streaming probably in literally about 5 minutes. Thank you for watching.
Well, this is it, I guess. More flashbangs down. All right, hold on. Not right there. Oh shit, dog! You just. What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, he just threw it right at me. Bro, man. He just threw it right at me. There go another one. He just threw it right at me. Bro, I'm not your enemy. I'm not the enemy. No, get off my back. Get off my back. I need my gas mask. Huh. Put the mask on. Holy shit, man. I'm not. Dude, I'm not the enemy out here, man. I don't know why. He's throwing these balls at me. I'm not the enemy. First time over here, man, it might have been an accident. But goddamn. Yeah, no, I'm all right. It's all right, man. I'm not trying to inflame nothing, bro. I'm just sitting here. The camera speaks for itself. The camera speaks for itself. And damn it, ladies, gentlemen, once again, this is the Western Barricade. For people who didn't know before, this is where the Western Barricade stood for 8 days. This is the Western Barricade right here. Hot dog. Man, he just put another flashbang in the crowd. There's another flash. One back. Oh, okay, the mace is out as well. Well, the chief said they were going to use him. It is out.
I gotta put my mask on. Okay. I got the mask on. Yes! Take this shit off! Take it off! Take it off! Get this shit off! Take it! I know this. Shit!
All right, so the flashbangs are out. Everything is out. I mean, the blast balls are here, and oh man, I don't. So watch out here. And these are protesters right here. And this is, folks, this is deja vu all over again. Perhaps the most infamous intersection now in Seattle, 11th and Pine. This was the home of the Western Barricade for 8 days. Then after that, Chaz and Chop. And man, what we see right now is we see another line. A lot of people thought a line was going to be downtown at the Western Precinct where the cement barricade was built. It appears that we got a line right here. The flare blowers are out. Okay, the rubber bullets. The bullets are out. The rubber bullets are out. The rubber bullets are out right there. And so we're sitting over here. It's press. This is press. This is press. Man, somebody give me the credential. This is media. This is media over here on this corner. Everybody on this corner is media. It's all, this is media over here, man. So we're back here. There goes another flashbang into the crowd. Flashbang. This is media over here. This is media over here. This is media. The mace is out. Pepper spray is out. We're putting the gas mask on. We're putting the gas mask on. This is media here. Holy cow. So now you got protesters now to the north on 11th and to the east on 11th. The police are to the north on 11th and the west on 11th. You got the police in the intersection. Right now the west is free. It's media over here. All you guys with cameras, come over here by me. Or everybody with media, we need to identify, man. This is media over here. We don't need any of these blast balls. There's all media on this corner. Huh? Tell those guys, it's media, let's stay tight. Over here, let's stay tight. All the media, stay tight. Come in a little tighter. They're getting ready to move. Get tight. They're getting ready. This is media over here. This is media over here on this corner. This is press on this corner. Woo. All right. The helicopter's up. We got the helicopter in the air right there. So, I mean, what we're seeing is now is SPD has come down. This is the Western Barricade again. So now, if you guys remember the stream back in the day, we would talk about a change in posture. What you see now is another change in posture. It's another change in posture. All right? So now, stay on this side with media. Media, where are the credentials? Yeah, that's going on. Yeah, shit.
Come, let me show you harmony. Yeah, so you can see the reality of true love in me.
Put on their gas mask. We're moving back. We're moving back. We're moving back. We're moving back. It's okay. No. It's all right. It's all right, fam. It's all right. Stay with us. It's all right. It's all media over here. It's cool. It's cool. They know you're working. It's all right. So, what we got is I mean, to set the scene here, we got vehicles trying to move past the street. We've got a distance now of about 25 feet, 30 feet between protesters and the police front line. We've got the bicycle officers to come in, and now the bicycle officers change their posture and they put on the gas. And now we're moving. The police are giving instruction. Now the police are giving instruction on move. And I'm sorry, I'm in and out of the gas mask, so it might be hard to hear. I've tried to assemble all the other media that's out here, so we're all in like one area. We're all in one area, so the media's in one area out here. There it goes. It's out here. Okay, there goes the rubber bullets. There goes the rubber bullets. There we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Police has set a new line. We're moving back. Police are asking us to move back, so we're moving back. They're reestablishing the line down Pine. The police are reestablishing the line down Pine Street. Oh snap! Dude got ate up over there. Okay, we see more flashbangs coming through. Man. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Listen to the instruction. Get back. Get back. Listen to the instruction. We all media over here. We're gonna stick together. Okay, I got you, fam. Okay. We're following instruction. Oh, I don't know what that is. All right. We got the lawnmower blowers around here. So what we done over here on this side is trying to assemble all the people that we know that are media people, a lot of photographers. So we're in one area over here, so people realize this. You know, this is working press, and hopefully we won't catch any more blast bombs or pepper spray. We're working over the sprays out. The spray is out. Oh shit. Gas mask back on. Gas mask back on. Sorry if you guys can't hear me, but it's fucking. They're taking the umbrellas now. Umbrellas are going down. So. Bro, you want my gas mask for a minute? Sure. Oh, put this on. Put this on. Take my gas mask for a minute, bro. I see you struggling. Tighten it up on his head. Tighten the gas mask up on his head. All right, let's go. Media, move back. Move back. If you press, move back. Let's go. All right, got the pepper spray out. Okay, covering my eyes. Oh, shit. We're trying. It's a lot of people behind us now. It's a lot of people behind us. You see, we're pushing back. It's a lot of people behind us. They're behind us. We're moving. There's a lot of people behind us. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. You okay? You okay? You okay? Oh. God. It's out here. Okay, there goes the rubber bullets. There goes the rubber bullets. There we go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Clean my lens. God dang it. Mom, if you're watching, I'm all right, and I'm sorry I'm cussing out here. I know you're going to be on my head. My mama going to be like, boy, you know you're not supposed to be cussing on that stream. There goes some more flashbangs. Woo! All right, so I couldn't see or breathe there for a minute. Got some water going and back out here, so hopefully my sense of humor is returned just a little bit. But my mama does be on me. For you guys that might be watching this stream for the first time, my mom stays on my head talking about why you out here cursing. So, sorry about that. Yeah, see, you know, I'm always talking about my mom, right? It's funky. It's spicy. Oh, man, it's funky. It's definitely funky. Oh, sir. Here, a water bottle. They're pushing back. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the crazy thing is Pine runs almost directly to the West Precinct. So I don't know where the move back is to. All right, we're moving. We're moving. We're moving. We're moving. All right, so set the scene. It's hard to see and hard to breathe out here at the moment, but we're on the intersection of 10th and Pine. We see the rubber bullets. The press got to stick together. He got that rubber bullet gun. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to get targeted over here. Oh, everybody, if you work in press, stay over here. Stay over here by me. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
hey, fuck you, you piece of shit! Fucking pig!
Somebody got my back.
Bobby, either film or have.
Why you put your hands on a woman? Man, I can't see, dog. I can't see. I think that we're going to have a big situation here on Broadway. Broadway's right behind us. It's about 200 feet behind us. You know, you got a lot of people over in Cal Anderson Park as well. You know, guys, it's been a minute since we've been out here, and it's been funky. You ain't heard me say it in a while. It used to get funky a lot out here. Hey, bro, over. Is Bobby? Where's Bobby? Okay, and John's here. Where's calligraphy?
Joey's getting made.
Where's calligraphy? Where's Eric? Somebody. Hey, Nikki, check in and see what's up with Eric. Nikki or Acacia, check in. See where Eric's at. Oh my God. Well, this shit is. Sorry, Mom. This stuff is burning. We got an arrest happening over there across the street. Looks like they're to the arrest. Right behind us is Broadway right there. That's Seattle Central College. That's where everything started at today. Oh, my head is... Oh, God damn it! Oh, shit! Oh, the platform just... Where's calligraphy? I can't breathe. What up? Where's Eric? Somebody...
Oh, shit! Oh, my God! My camera. No.
Shit, I gotta put the mask back on.
What? They want us to go back 2 more blocks. 2 more blocks. 2 more blocks. All right.
Police are indicating they want people to move 2 blocks. Are you okay, Joy? Who else is out here? What other media we got out here? I know there was a photographer for the Times out here and for the Capitol Hill Times trying to see where the media people are at. So guys can stick together. So what happened is a blast ball just went in under my leg. The flashbang exploded. Literally in between my legs is where the flashbang exploded. And I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I got hit by a flashbang right in between my legs, and it don't feel good when you wear shorts. Yeah, I got hit with a rubber bullet too. Man, I don't know. I mean, they threw a few of them over there though, man, like directly at me. But and then I got hit with they're reloading more ammunition now, more munitions. Protesters are lined up over here. We got people with the lawn blowers, the leaf blowers that are blowing the smoke back. But yeah, I don't know. I got hit with a rubber bullet or whatever it's called, some kind of projectile. I mean the pepper projectile, and then a few different flashbangs right up between my legs. I mean, this is shit. I'll be honest with you. It's quite a few of my colleagues here from different newspapers and media outlets on the ground. And I mean, man, we're taking the brunt of it right now. Probably even more than some of the protesters. More people, more media people are probably over here getting hit more than anybody.
Bicycle pack threw me to the ground with his bicycle and took my phone. The guy's back.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, this is the working press out here. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, this is this is what we're seeing right here, right out front. I'm all right, Mom. I know you're probably watching the stream. My mom be on it, my dad too. I'm all right. I mean, it's hard to see right now. My eyes are burning, but I can breathe fine. I let another reporter borrow my gas mask because he was struggling more than me. I got that back, so I got my gas mask right now too. And so basically, all of us media people are trying to shelter over here. And we're sheltering to the south side of this police line. That's Seattle College right there. God damn, that projector! I got hit with one of the rubber bullets right here, fam. Ooh. What was it? No, it's something else. Well, whatever. Well, from the first flashbang. I mean, it cut me. I'm bleeding underneath here, bro. So yeah. Unfortunately, I took a few flashbangs. It looks like something, whatever hit under my arm, the shrapnel that hit under my arm is bleeding there.
Our Black Lives Matter. You need to turn to Jesus.
Man, there he goes.
See how much? Because the end is near.
So, like I said, we're over here with the working press. That's what I was telling people. All of us media guys, we're all trying to stay together. You know, but we getting hit more than the protesters are. Man, no, I mean, he threw two flashbangs directly at me, but then another one came and hit underneath my leg. I got some kind of, I don't know, man, sprayed. It's wild. I mean, it's kind of the risk you take being up front, but They're looking out. Thank you. By the way, the Jesus guy is back.
You need to turn to Jesus. The Bible says, look unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. Look for the joy that was set before him. Endure the cross, despising the shame. It is set down.
Hey, man. I'll take a little intervention from Jesus right now. You know what I'm saying? You good out here? Oh. You know, it's only the small media that's out here on the ground. None of the big media is out here. So, I mean, people are looking through phones out here. This is the only view that they're seeing right now. Because the major stations aren't here on the ground. And like I said, when you guys heard me, I was talking about how all the media was trying to stick together so we didn't get hit. And you see, you've got media here from locally, nationally, and internationally, and so we're all hanging out. But we definitely got tagged out here. But, you know, it is what it is. Keep it pushing.
And after this, the judgment. We must all stand before the judgment seat of Jesus Christ. We will give an account for our lives.
We got somebody now.
For what we have done in the body.
We got a gentleman who's now sat down on the ground. Got a woman here on the white line. We got a line that's now moving forward. Protesters that are sitting down now on the ground. And of course, you have evangelist who's over here, adding to the scene. Woo! My friend, my face is on fire. Hey, what's the thing for pepper spray? There ain't nothing, huh? Saline on my face? I mean, it's my skin is burning. All right, yeah, huh, man? Spray me up real quick. Woo. My forehead. Thank you.
Just be careful when you wipe your face, not wipe your eyes.
Yep. You never know. Guys who've been at the protests, you've seen the preacher out here at a lot of protests. He might be the peacemaker today. Thank you. I should just dab. Can you dab my eye? Just dab around my eyes. Yeah, because I just don't want to drip it into my eyes. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you. So somebody just help me out and whew, I'll try to clear my face. Can you hold this camera, Bobby? No. Just give me, please, just give me a second. Bro, no, I know you're trying to help me, man. I know. Hey, by the way, Bobby Steele's the postman, you know, he delivers. He's still delivering. You ain't got Cecilia's, bro, man, you live up to your name. People ain't seen Bobby Steele's the postman deliver in a minute. But he came out here, you know what I'm saying? He's delivering. And, you know, Bobby also hooked up, you know what I'm saying? You see, I got the camera. That's what's up. It was the logo that gave me away. We're going to have to take the logo off my gas mask. We're going to have to take the logo off my gas mask, man. Man, I'm scared of that, bro. I got contact here. Okay. Okay, here comes the warning. It's been declared an unlawful assembly. So, the police are declaring an unlawful assembly.
Hold this line down.
The police are declared an unlawful assembly. In an unlawful assembly, what needs to happen is they need to give a time. They need to give a time to say whatever for disbursement, I believe. So it's hard to hear. Okay, unlawful assembly. You're ordered to disperse. Leave the area westbound. That's behind us. Said, Seattle Police Department, this is an unlawful assembly. You're being ordered to disperse westbound. That's what we've heard right there. Protest. Woo, my friend. On fire over here. I don't know, we got hit. So, there we go with the move back. Heads up. Bobby, put your gas mask on, Bobby.
Back it up!
We got an arrest going, taking place behind us. Someone's getting arrested over there. Police are moving forward with the bikes. Bike brigade. We got So the thing is about these blast balls is they also have some kind of spray in them, pepper spray.
What's the center? Dude, this is what I do. Let me do my job. Stop leaving. That's what I do. I leave when I need to. Got arrested was right across the street.
I take the mask off here for a minute. The leaf. with the mask on. I got all that pepper spray on my face, and with the mask on, it's like my skin's boiling. But I can breathe. If I take the mask off, my skin gets some relief, but I can't breathe.
So the judge signed off on it. All we need now on the 7th. Here we go.
I'm sorry. So there you go. So.
Watch that motherfucker! Watch it out!
If I take the mask off, my skin gets some relief.
Who got hit? That's a rubber bullet. Rubber bullet!
Rubber bullet! God damn it!
You gotta blow! God damn it! Oh!
Hi, Lori.
Hey.
Doing good.
Hey, how are you? Thank you. Appreciate your support.
Let's go, guys. You got both this work. Let's go. This way. Let's go that way. Let's go. Serious. Hey, no, they're coming back.
All right, well, that was interesting. Woo! Uh-oh. You okay? That's Jake right there. He just, that flashbang just went off behind Jake's leg. You okay, Jake? You all right, Jake? Well, protesters pushed back now to, what's this? What street is that? It's that boy says Harvard. Harvard and Broadway. Whew. I'll take one.
The space can't stop us, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get the story in, bro. Somebody right now is like, hey, man, this guy's crazy. But, I mean, there's actually a big media corps that's out here, and mostly photographers on the ground. The Seattle Police Department also have their streamers out here as well, you know, behind the police line. So I don't know if the SPD is also live streaming their camera guy right now, but the SPD has a few live streamers that we've seen standing behind the police line with their cameras. So perhaps SPD is also putting their live stream up as well, so the general public can really see all angles, because media like myself, or if you're following any of these people here, you only get to see one side of the camera, and it's probably important that all sides of the camera are seen. So I would say, Chief Best, if you guys are listening, we see the cameras over there. Maybe you guys can turn your cameras on as well, so everybody can have a look at things from all directives. You know, and I'm sure that you want the public to be able to see the officer perspective, and you know, the body cams won't be released on anything for a while from now, but you know what I'm saying, perhaps you guys can get your stream going and also give the general public the perspective from the police department, so the general public doesn't only see the ground level perspective here from the protesters and the media, because we're only, the only vantage point that we're allowed is the vantage point of the protester. Clearly we're not allowed behind the lines like your guys are. Anyways.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
How are you?
I'm hanging in there, baby. Toting the pole, you know what it is.
All right. All right, protesters move back now from Harvard past Broadway and now heading up to 10th. Seattle Police Department is backing up one step at a time. I doubt that they're going to back up past Pine, though. I mean, past 11th. Whatever hit my arm though earlier, man, just cut it all the way up. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just have to live through it. I mean, I'll be all right. But it was a shrapnel or a projectile. All right, protesters move back now What I can tell you is this, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen this before. A month ago, the first week in June, it's going to be a long day out here. And what's going to happen is you get them going back and forth. Here they go. Now they're going to come forward, then they're going to go backwards. They're going to go forward, then they're going to go backwards. Here come the flashbangs, here come the rubber bullets. They're going to move back. And then the line's going to reconstitute, and it's going to move forward. So whatever flashbangs the SPD got in inventory, they're going to go through a lot of them today, because we've seen this posture here before, and we've seen it go on for hours before. We've seen it actually go on for hours out here. We've seen this before. It's going to be a long day. And what's going to happen is you get them going back and forth. Here they go. Now they're going to come forward, and they're going to go backwards. They're going to go forward, and they're going to go backwards. Okay. I got you. Thank you, Bobby. I'm listening. All right. And there you go. The line's reconstituted right here on 10th. The police are backed up by Rancho Bravo. The police they're going to hold the line and then they're going to push the protesters forward, and then what's going to happen is the protesters are going to push back, then they're going to reconstitute the line. And like I said, this is something that we saw before the first week of June, and I mean, this is just it's deja vu all over again, including my face burning. At least today, I can't. The mask burns my skin, but I can breathe. With the mask off, I can breathe, but it burns my skin. There's no wind at the moment. So what you're going to see here in a second is you're going to see the SPD push forward. There go the rubber bullets. Then they're going to reconstitute the line. And like I said, it's going to be like this all day. And I mean, this is just it's deja vu all over. This is all day out here. At least today, I can't. These are the tools. I need a water. Whew. Thank you. Thank you. Damn, my mouth is burning from pepper spray. Whew. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna see this all day long. You know what I'm saying? If the police are setting a line, seems like something exploded over there by the SPD line. We're hearing some cheers. Oh, okay, stay behind the trees. All right, Bobby's telling me to stay behind the trees. I think that's good advice. Flashbangs. Thank you. We got protests moving up with a shield. Oh, shit. It's funky up here. Let me put this mask on.
Oh, that's my son. They just sprayed random people.
Sorry, Bobby took the phone. My son just called me. Young O.
Flo used to come out here with me, but it's way too dangerous.
Now that the Jesus preacher's talking about this is combat.
He says it's a combat operation. I've never seen that.
So, well, you heard it. You heard it from the Jesus guy. So this is what we're seeing here, folks. But anyway, what I was saying, my son just called me. He don't come out here with me anymore. He covered a lot of the early protests. But I'm all right, son. Thanks for calling. Young O. They threw an explosive in there into the police line. Looks like something exploded in the police line over there. The police responding with a volley of flashbangs. They've got the rubber bullets out. It's we've got someone in a suit right there, just standing there. He's got lots of gas masks on. They're moving. They're creating a barricade with garbage cans right now. They're creating a barricade. The barricades are moving up. The barricades are moving up now towards 11th Avenue. They created a barricade behind garbage cans. The police are throwing volleys. They're throwing volleys of prepare the power pack. Hold on. They're throwing volleys of flashbangs, but there's now this pocket, lower pocket. We're getting hit with some little bit of shrapnel from the flashbang. This pocket right here. Who got it? Somebody got it. It's in my back pocket. So we've got a line now, and man, I'm gonna tell you, they're throwing these flashbangs. I don't know how many they got in inventory, but the flashbangs are coming out today. The flashbangs are coming out. Garbage cans are out. They flipped the garbage cans. Now you've got a barricade. Oh wow! They're throwing the flashbangs now over the barricade into the crowd. You see the. Oh shit! God damn it! We got hit with the flash. I can't hear. My ears ringing. This is John. He's been hit. Take the camera. God damn it! I can't hear in one ear. I can't hear in this left ear. Shit is ringing. Hey, we need some cover over here. We need some cover over here for a second. He's hit too. Your media, you've been hit, man. I'm telling you, the media taking it worse than anybody out here. Are you okay, John? John got hit in the. Throwing the flashbangs now over the barricade into the crowd. You see the. Oh shit! God damn it! We got hit with the flash. I can't hear. My ears ringing. This is John. He's been hit. Take the camera. God damn it! I can't hear in one ear. I can't hear in this left ear. Shit is ringing. Hey, we need some cover over here. We need some cover over here for a second. He's hit too. Your media, you've been hit, man. I'm telling you, the media taking it worse than anybody out here. Are you okay, John? John got hit in the face. It exploded right by my ear. Shit is ringing, bro. I can't hear out this left ear at the moment. Let's go. We need to move. Let's go. Even my camera. Make sure that the lights are on that power pack. Make sure that the lights are on. I can't tell if it's charging or not. Yeah, it's okay if he's pointed at us. Hopefully he doesn't throw a flashbang at us. He's pointing at it. There's all media over here, my friends. There it goes. Dip it over here.
Yeah, come on.
Man, my left ear is ringing. Flashbang just exploded. It hit one of our producers in the face. The flashbang hit him in the face. It exploded right next to my ear. Looks like we have the police activity now northbound. Police activity northbound. There goes flashbang. Ooh. We got police activity northbound on 11th as well over Caledon Park. The pepper spray is back out. Slide down, sir. You okay? All right. Police are pushing. Yep.
Mask on. Mask on. Mask on.
Media! Fuck!
See, they just maced us. You see it? Right there. Just got maced. You okay? It's our producer.
He just got hit with a flashbang and just got maced. We're over here. He's tagged. He's got his media stuff on. He's got a credential.
We've identified ourselves who we are.
We followed every police instruction. Hold on, I got Mace on the camera lens.
Oh, that's in my. Oh, motherfucker, do you have a?
That's Bobby Steels. That's John right there. He got hit with the face. We need some water over there. He just got hit with a flashbang here a minute ago. Guy's been maced. I mean, these are guys just carrying cameras, guys. You see the camera right there. You see the camera. These are camera people. You know. Come on, Bobby. Hey, no.
I'm so glad I put this gas mask on earlier, because they put the mace right in their faces. Yeah. This is. Let's go this way.
Yeah.
Let's go back this way so you can chill. Get John cleaned up.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
I got you.
We're gonna get John cleaned up.
Okay.
Let's get John cleaned up.
Get him cleaned up.
Let's stay over here.
Huh? Yeah, they're marking people. They're marking people. So one of the things here is the spray. The spray is colored. It has a color in the spray, and so now you see when people. We've been sprayed blue. There's other people who have been sprayed different colors.
So.
Dude, my whole body burns right now.
Feel the burn.
Feel the burn. Feel the burn. Woo. Cameraman right here. Cameraman. You know what I'm saying? So. We've seen, so like I said, everybody, this is gonna be here all day. You know, I seeing these protests, as long as we've been out here almost 2 months, never really seen a solution for this one. What happens is they push forward, they move everybody back, they might use some flashbangs, they might use the pepper spray, and then what happens is the protesters reconstitute the line, and then the police walk back.
I just got maced again.
So we just got maced again.
There's smoke. There's all kinds of stuff going on. We gotta move back. Breathe through my nose. Your nose will help. Your nose is covered. Okay. Thank you.
There he goes for more munitions. They're coming out. They're getting more munitions. They're running out of munitions over here. They're running out of blast balls. They're giving more munitions now. I mean, this is all day. We keep getting sprayed. We keep getting sprayed out here. Yeah. So there goes the police streamer right there. Chief Best, can we also see that view, please? There goes the police live streamer. I think for everybody, for full transparency, Chief Best, if you could please turn that on so everybody can see the police view as well, because right now we're only able to show the protester view. So if you guys have a live stream going, Chief, it would be great, I think, for the citizens of Seattle and everybody watching around. Turn on the camera. You know, people can only see this point of view. It's important people see the police point of view as well. So, you know, that's what I would recommend. Something like this, as many cameras turned on to the public, as many cameras turned on to the public is best. So there he goes right there, he's live streaming. And so, I mean, like, again, Chief Best, Chief Diaz, Mayor Durkin, let's turn on all cameras. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the public only gets this view. So let's see all the views. You know what I'm saying? You guys put the investment, you got somebody here, he's streaming, he's got the backpack on, he's got a live view backpack, it's probably going up to a satellite right now. Mayor Durkin, turn on the camera. You know what I'm saying? Chief, let's turn on the camera. I mean, we can only show the public the protester view. You guys got a camera there behind the lines. Mayor Durkin, Chief Best, turn on the camera. Share the stream.
Coming down a step.
We got the leaf blower out here.
Push us down this side again.
Yeah, this is gonna be all day. What's wrong with Jake? Something's wrong with Jake. They're saying something's wrong with Jake. You gotta find Jake. Let's go find Jake. Nikki's saying something's wrong with Jake. This person was getting some water.
Pull her back.
SWAT vehicles now arrive.
We go find Jake.
We need. She's saying something's wrong with Jake. I don't know. Call Nikki. Call Nikki and see what's going on with Jake. They said Jake has a problem. We need to find Jake. Shit.
They broke his glasses, but I don't know.
His glasses?
That's it.
I don't know, but she said Jake needs help. I don't know where Jake's at. We got split up.
He's good.
All right. He said Jake's okay. So we're going to see this again and again. This is just the posture. Protesters get pushed back. Protesters come forward. Police go back. Police draw a line. Police push protesters back with flashbangs and pepper spray. And I mean, this is really going to come down to who wants to quit first today. I'll be honest with you. You know, I mean, these protesters are out here amped up. The police don't look like they have any intention to let anybody close back to their precinct. This is most likely going to be an all-day thing here. You know what I'm saying? We've seen some of everything kind of pop off over here. We had a tight media corps that was over here. Maybe they've dispersed, but a lot of the media corps that was here, I mean, some of them left. It just got too funky for them. You know, it just got a little bit too funky. So. So again, you know, if you've seen these protests here in Seattle, this type of protest, then you know exactly what I'm saying. What I say, they're gonna back up, then they're gonna set a line, then they're gonna move people back with flashbangs and with pepper spray. And that's what we see, and now they're getting ready to come with the mace here in a little bit. And so, you know, it's really like I said, if you follow these protests here in early June, we haven't seen anything like this since the first week of June when the Western Barricade was still up. Was the last time that we actually saw action like this here on the ground. We've covered, you know, quite a few protests since then. You know what I'm saying? Where there hasn't been any police interaction or involvement. This is what the lines look like, everybody. Here's the protester line right here. Here's the police line. And right now, like I said, the police are moving backwards. They're probably gonna move backwards 50 or 100 feet. The protesters are moving forward. And it's a rapid advancement right here at the moment. These guys are getting ready to set. They're getting ready to set. This is Broadway. That's Seattle Central College right there to the left of your screen. This is Pine and Broadway. And man, Capitol Hill, this is just where it's been, man. You know, these protests here in Seattle. I mean, and man, you know, they're out there. And I mean, as we see, here goes this front line right here moving. We see some of we see a gentleman walking in front of everybody. And he's down on a knee. We see a gentleman right there, down on a knee. protesters are chanting, "Move back now," to the police. See water bottles come across the line, over into the police line. Oh yeah, I'm putting on some Marvin Gaye. Go ahead and turn that up. They might calm it down out here. Little Motown soul, man. All right. We see some fireworks coming over the police line now. Got to ride away. So protesters have lit some smoke bombs. Woo! Man, I lost my hat, man.
Hey, PSA, if you white and you in Seattle, you better come to the front. Don't do watching. Come out here and do something.
Well, all right.
We need some white bodies to the front.
So we see smoke out here. Me personally, I'm ready to just go and dance to some Marvin Gaye over here. You know what I'm saying? Can we get a dance break? Be brutality. Hey, we can see. All right, hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let's go. Let's bring it down, man. It's Motown Soul. I know my mama watching the stream. She dancing right now. Mama love Marvin Gaye, Sam.
Who said these rocks here? These niggas did it? They did? Bitch ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, I figured because it didn't hurt. I just don't want a flashbang going off right in my face again.
You can see. All right now, what's going on? Hey,
I'm pretty sure it's to throw.
You can see his shirt is just covered in pepper spray. See that? Omari, what you got all over you, buddy?
I don't know what it is. He's shown up to like every protest. He was actually down in Portland last night too.
Everybody stop moving. Right here. Right here. Everybody stop. Oh, come on. Y'all come up. We got to stop. Right here. I want to make one acknowledgement. Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks beautiful. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Make some noise for yourselves, y'all. Say his name. Elijah McClain. 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 Real quick. We are on indigenous land. This is indigenous land. This is occupied indigenous land. And it is occupied by the same people and the same institutions that are murdering our black, indigenous, brown sisters and brothers throughout this entire country. The claim, this myth called the United States, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake. The only legitimacy it has is the legitimacy that it had from using extreme violence on the people that it colonized. Whether that is here in so-called North America, whether that's in the Pacific Islands, whether that's occupied Iraq and Afghanistan, whether it's Vietnam, whether it's direct support, whether it's to the direct support to the occupation of Palestine. The United States is an enemy of the world's people. Let's make that clear. How we doing right now, y'all? Welcome to Liberated 225. So, one of the reasons why we are out here today is because, without a doubt, this point right here marks a major turn with all the DHS and the federal deployments. Marks a major turn to like a more open, fascistic police state. The righteous rebellions against racism that have rapidly overtaken the country now face a challenge. To give in and leave the streets or risk the repression of the state's forces and continue the fight. What are y'all gonna do? That's right. That's right. These protests must continue. To stop now would be to embolden Trump's militarism and the far right. The bravery and the collective willpower to march on, shown in the streets of D.C., in Louisville, in Philadelphia, in Portland, and Chicago, and so many other cities tonight, will not be easily broken. We are doing this in solidarity with our compatriots in Portland, and we are doing this in solidarity for Elijah McClain and his family. So, I want y'all, we're going to record a little solidarity statement with Portland right now. So, I want you all to repeat after me. The city of Aurora and Denver salutes the uprising in Portland. We salute your courage and unity in the face of police and federal repression. We will not be deterred by the deployment of secret police, by the threat of terror, by the bluster of fascists in Denver, Aurora, or anywhere else. Their repression will only make us stronger. We hold this highway in unflinching solidarity with the movement for Black Lives, for Elijah McClain, for Breonna Taylor, for George Floyd, and all victims of police terrorism. We will continue our resistance to the racist U.S. regime and its occupying forces as long as they exist, until the empire falls. It is right to rebel. It is right to rebel. It is right to rebel. Solidarity with Portland. Make some noise for our comrades.
As floods ravaged China, a dam burst. Could more follow? Welcome back to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chuck. China's beautiful Guangxi province. Makes me want to go for a refreshing swim in that river. Dive right in by the side of the road. Unfortunately, there are a lot of places to swim in China right now, because record-breaking floods are happening across the country. All three of China's major rivers have flood alerts, and there are some serious concerns about whether China's dams can withstand it. Reuters says a recent dam collapse could point to a possible black swan disaster. That has nothing to do with actual black swans, it just means an incredibly rare event.
With piles of rubble dotting a painterly Chinese landscape, a gaping dried-up ditch is all that's left of a once colossal dam in China's Guangxi province. Last reinforced 25 years ago, the dam was overrun by heavy flooding last month. It caused immense damage, inundating roads and swallowing up fields. Its collapse suggested that neglect left this reservoir open to disaster. But perhaps most concerning of all is what that might mean for the 94,000 other aging dams across China. Thousands of these dams were built in the 1950s and 1960s in a rush led by Mao Zedong to fend off drought in the agrarian society. But over half a century later, it's unclear how much longer they'll last. A Chinese official said in 2006 that dikes had collapsed at over 3,000 reservoirs over the past 50 years due to substandard quality and poor management.
This dam collapse happened back in June, but was not reported by Chinese media. And of course, this has everyone nervously eyeing China's Three Gorges Dam, the largest hydroelectric dam in the world. The dam that collapsed in Guangxi is not the same type of dam as the Three Gorges Dam. But there have been concerns about the Three Gorges Dam for years. Some experts warn it could collapse, and if it does, millions of people would be devastated. In fact, just downstream is the city of Wuhan. It's a city of 11 million people, and it's had a rough year. But never fear. The Chinese Communist Party has come to the rescue by putting up a giant wall of propaganda. Chinese authorities have admitted that yes, the Three Gorges Dam may have, quote, deformed slightly, but it's totally safe. I personally find that very reassuring. Also really reassuring, this photo of the Three Gorges Dam releasing floodwater earlier this week. Water had to be released after the water level in the reservoir was more than 50 feet higher than its flood limit level. Meanwhile, flooding in Anhui province forced authorities to blast open dikes to release the pressure. I know that sounds bad, but you know what? There's nothing to worry about. In fact, there isn't even a flooding problem to begin with. Here's State Run Media with more.
The internet keeps spreading the information about floods to your cell phone. It is the improved internet access that gives everyone a false impression that flooding is getting more serious year after year, a state-run TV anchor said.
Yep, this is totally normal flooding. Nothing to worry about. In fact, Chinese state-run media have described it as beautiful and fairy-like.
Their news reports are full of positive energy and even describe the submerged cities as beautiful landscapes of lakes and mountains.
So there isn't anything unusual about this flooding other than it's unusually beautiful. Like this beautiful photo of a rainbow over the Three Gorges Dam as it releases tons of floodwater. I feel better already. And now is the time when I answer questions from you, my loyal 50-cent army. Fans of the show who support what we do through the crowdfunding website Patreon. Biopox asks, with all the dark, scary topics recently, how about a silly question? What is your, and anyone else on the team that wishes to answer, favorite color? Biopox, thank you. I'm so tired. Thank you for the silly question. So, for me, personally, my favorite color, hands down, is octarine. It's the color of magic. It's kind of a fluorescent greenish yellow purple that can only be seen by wizards and cats. I'll let you guess which of those I am. Shelley?
I like the fresh spring green color of new leaves, what Pantone described as their 2017 color of the year, greenery. A color that provides us with the reassurance that we yearn for amid a tumultuous social and political environment. I could use some effing reassurance right now.
You talk about somebody
Matt?
cool as a cucumber.
I like the color of microwaves. Not microwaves, microwaves. They're 10,000 times more red than red. And not even Superman can see that color.
Thanks for asking, Biopox. And for all of you watching, consider joining the China Uncensored 50-cent army. You'll have a chance to ask me questions on the show, and there are some other cool perks as well. Check out patreon.com/China Uncensored to learn more. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.
Pepper 206. Talk to you soon.
Because there is no end. There's no point at which enough is enough. No matter what you give them, the far left will demand more. And this is why we are seeing, as the national anthem was played, NY Liberty and Seattle Storm walked off the floor as part of the social justice initiative. Oh, just kneeling, right? It was just kneeling during the anthem. Now they're literally leaving the room during the anthem. This pisses me off. You want to kneel? Fine. You want to leave the room? Fine. The kneeling? Okay, you're making a statement. I don't like that either. That makes me angry because I feel like at this point, you're bowing down to some fringe ideology that flies in the face of all of the progress of this country and our civil liberties. Civil liberties and civil rights law that my family counts on. You are spitting in their face. In California, I'll say it for the 50 billionth time, it's this initiative, it's these people that are trying to get the civil rights law repealed. And they voted for it in the Assembly and the Senate. And it's going to go to a referendum, and they're going to approve it. That's my prediction. And they walk out on our national anthem. If you don't want to pledge allegiance, if you don't want to hold your hand over your heart, you don't have to do it. And if you want to leave, that's every right as well. But I'm sick and tired of them calling it social justice. I'm sick and tired of them pushing further and further every day, and they will. Soon they'll demand we not even play it. And they'll say, no one's even in the room anyway, so just stop playing it. Then they'll say, don't display the flag. No one's in the room anyway. They're already trying to take back all of the progress we earned through the civil rights era. I'm not joking. Look it up. Well, now it's going a bit beyond just leaving, the rooms. We're seeing calls for a boycott. Okay, you know what? I'm game. I didn't watch anyway. Does anybody really watch the WNBA? I was going to pull up the Family Guy joke, but for copyright issues, I can't. But check this out. Aubrey Huff says, in response to the Red Sox putting up a Black Lives Matter billboard, hey, Red Sox, may as well paint on the green monster in bold lettering. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family. That statement is literally on the Black Lives Matter website. I'm not happy with where things are going. You know, never been a big sports fan, but I like the Super Bowl. I like the World Series. Like most regular people. And I mean regular people, not sports fans. I'd go to a sports bar with my friends. I'd order some nice boneless wings with some garlic Parmesan sauce, the best. And you'd watch the game in the background or the fight. Not a big sports fan. But when the big MMA fight is happening, we go get wings, have a drink, and we hang out with our friends, and that's our entertainment. The same is true for baseball. This is what I've been saying for quite some time. You know, when it came to Gamergate stuff, video games, card games, my first reaction was, I don't care if somebody wants to make a video game that's super woke, because I just won't buy it, and I'll play the games that I do like. Now, like, they started encroaching into other spaces, like card games, like Magic the Gathering. At first I said, look, man, stop trying to change the game. I just want to make the vampire dude fight the goblin dude. It's a fun strategy game. Don't make it political. Then they started banning cards for being racist. Now they're kneeling and putting up protest signs at baseball games, and I'm getting angrier and angrier, and I am getting really angry about it. I am not even a fan of baseball. I just want to sit in a bar, have some boneless wings, and have the game play in the background while me and my friends talk about what's been going on in our lives, because sometimes we just don't want to talk about politics. I talk about it for 4 hours per day. They've shut the bars down. Cuomo says, no ordering wings. That one doesn't count. Haven't been able to, I went to one restaurant in the past couple of weeks. Now it's getting annoying. Everything's political. Everything's a protest. The protests are allowed. The people are kneeling at the ball game. And now they're actually walking out on the national anthem. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I wasn't a big fan to begin with, but I'm the opposite of whatever a fan is at this point. Calls to boycott Major League Baseball trends after players kneel during national anthem. I am holding myself back from swearing, okay? Not necessarily at these people, but at the concept of politicizing everything, the things that should not be politicized. You want to see riots and outrage? Keep doing this. I warned about this. I did. Last year, when I said, how long until you think the social justice initiatives come for Major League Sports? You want to see outrage? Wait till they do that. It's one thing when they say, this video game needs to have a strong positive message for social justice causes. And people got mad. It's another thing when your baseball players are all kneeling and wearing the shirts and putting up the banners. That's right. Bend the knee to our ideology. Your entertainment be damned. We want you to talk about politics and revolution. Well, guess what? You're going to lose your fans. Not that you can have them in the stands anyway because of COVID, but you're going to lose your fans. And you're already seeing a ton of people. The best thing they could have done, literally nothing. You know why? If Major League Baseball did nothing, then people wouldn't care. Like, nobody would say anything. But they decided to enter the fray, and now you will reap what you have sown. People like me, who barely were fans to begin with, but would go to a ball game for fun, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I think I've been to one ball game in the past 4 years. It's a fun thing to do every so often. Some people have season passes. Some people want to go to every single game. It is a fun thing to do. Man, look, sitting in the stands, you get a nice ballpark dog. Those are some of the best, right? Get some nachos, some drinks, maybe some wings, hang out with your friends. You know, I saw this really cool thing. I guess it's like a common thing where it's a cup. And the lid of the cup is actually a dish that holds your French fries. And you can drink and then dip the fries. How awesome is that? Now that is ingenuity. That is American invention right there. Now what's this? Now I don't even want to think about it. Because listen, if you want to protest, that's fine, man. I don't care. It's America. For me personally, there's very few places of refuge now to get away and sort of detox. Every day I read nothing but news. The last thing I want to see is when I want to sit down with somebody and be like, oh yeah, there's baseball's on. Yeah, the guy's got it. It's a home run. And then everyone's doing this Black Lives Matter kneeling thing, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, man. I'm going to put on cartoons or something. I'm going to put on some cartoons from 2010 before all this stuff started happening.
Excuse me.
Yo, I got good news for you. I got good news for you if you're a part of the industry. You may have lost all your fans. because they can't come out, to, because of COVID. And you may have lost many fans because you decided to get political, but the good news is they decided to go full-on Black Mirror in one of the creepiest things I have ever seen. Virtual fans will be digitally placed when they play these games. Good. You'll need the fake robo fans because you won't have any real ones left after all the stupid things you're doing. But I gotta be honest. This fake fans thing, look at this. No fans, not on Fox Sports. Thousands of virtual fans will attend the game. They are putting fake CGI people in the stands. This is one of the creepiest, most nightmarishly dystopian things I have ever seen. You know what? Fine. Major League Baseball can go down in flames. You reap what you have sown. Period. Look at this. The Verge writes, Fox Sports will use virtual fans created in Unreal Engine to fill empty stadiums in MLB broadcasts. This is horrifying and awful. It's just the worst thing. You can do the politics, man, but this may be the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I cannot get over how grotesque this is. Now, I'm not exaggerating. If you got no fans, well, then you put no fans in the stands. You can't have fans because of COVID. Well, too bad. You don't get fans in the stands because of COVID. Are we really doing this Black Mirror thing? You ever see that episode where the people live in these tiny cubicles and then their walls are screens and their avatar is in the stands during the shows? This is what we're doing. It's even worse in some other places. Take a look at this one. They're putting cardboard cutouts of people. I'm sorry, man. I think we've fallen apart. I guess 2020 was the year the United States finally just could not bear it any longer. The media is ripping people apart. It's creating insane divisions. It's lies stacked on lies stacked on lies. The politics then infect things like baseball, which aren't supposed to be overtly political. They can be, to some degree. Sometimes politics seeps in, but this is just way over the top. And now here's where we are. The American people have been replaced by cardboard cutouts, not an exaggeration, and digital CGI people. Because there's nothing left, man. Our culture's been stagnating for a while. COVID is an unprecedented disaster, and maybe we'll get through this like we have many other hard times, and there'll be a dramatic change, and hopefully it'll be for the better. I worry that it'll actually be for the worse because you've got a bunch of very prominent, insane people in high levels of media and cultural institutions, and now they're in baseball. Now, something that was literally just a dude with a bat, got a piece of wood, someone gonna throw a ball, he's gonna hit it, has now become a protest for Black Lives Matter. I'm not gonna watch it. Not because it's about the politics necessarily, but because I want to get away from the politics. What I mean is, I'm not here to say I am angry about this specific, protest slogan. It's more so, don't get political. You want to have the national anthem? I like that. I'm an American. You want to pledge allegiance to the flag or whatever? I'm fine with it. Fine. I'm an American. You want to have a bunch of different religious ideology, cult stuff? I'm out, man. I'm going to go do something else. I don't want to be involved in this. We'll see how this plays out. This could be possibly the worst get woke go broke we've ever seen, and we just had, A&E cancel Live PD, a $300 million program. Maybe this will be worse. Let's see how the numbers do when you play these games with politics. Why? Because opposition to Black Lives Matter is on the rise, now at 36% among all demographics, according to CivIQ. You have just lopped off a third of your potential viewer base. Why? So you can say some words? I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks for hanging out.
Sarah, flush my eyes for me.
As floods ravage China, a dam burst. Could more fall?
Earlier by something in my underarm. I get hit by something in my shoulder, fam. Like my shoulder is hurting. Okay.
Tectonic shifts in Twitter and our industry operates.
I mean, he washed my eyes.
Required changes won't be fast or easy. Today we're committing to the people and this committee to do that work and do it openly.
a Twitter administration control panel was hacked into revealing alleged leaked pictures spotlighting the buttons Trends Blacklist and Search Blacklist, indicating Twitter does have the ability to shadow ban its users, exposing that Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey clearly lied to Congress.
The allegation that we make, the Republicans, is that you're discriminatory against us, against the Republicans. Your post says, well, there were some Democrat politicians too, so out of 600,000, if there were 1,000 Republicans and 10 Democrats, it still seems somewhat biased. If it's 50-50, then that's a whole different ballgame.
Well, we agree that the result was not impartial, and that is why we corrected it and we fixed it.
So you do agree that there were more Republicans than Democrats?
I didn't say that, but
I would hope that you would want to know if there are people working for Twitter that did have that kind of discriminatory viewpoint against conservatives, that you would at least hold them accountable so that it doesn't happen again.
I would want to know that, and I assure you that the algorithm was not written with that intention. The signal that we were using caught people up in it, and it was a signal that we determined was not relevant and also not fair in this particular case. And there will be times, and this is where we need to experiment, as you know, in writing algorithms in the past, that you need to test things and see if they work at scale and pull them back correctly if they don't. And that is,
but also you shouldn't
our
inject your own personal viewpoint into that, unless that's the intention of the company, but you're saying it's not.
That is not the intention, and they should never be
I know
injected.
I'm out of time, but I appreciate.
As a result, Dorsey should have his home raided, Roger Stone style, and Twitter's protected status from the Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act should be stripped immediately. If the alleged pictures of the blacklist are credible, Twitter is acting as a publisher in clear violation of their protected status from Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Add to that, Twitter's vulnerability to hackers poses a major privacy and security threat to its 330 million monthly users and quite possibly national security to some extent. Back in April of 2013, the Associated Press's hacked Twitter page announced that 2 explosions rocked the White House and President Barack Obama had been injured, causing the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 to immediately plunge with a loss of 136.5 billion in market cap. The recent hack attack, which involved high-profile, verified Twitter accounts locked in a common cryptocurrency scam that may have funneled as much as $100,000 in a matter of minutes, where victims of the hack said their multi-factor authentication to protect their accounts had failed. Senator Josh Hawley immediately reached out to Jack Dorsey, asking him to contact the DOJ and the FBI as soon as possible, despite countless people on Twitter
the full
asking
report
why a blacklist search
is up on Band.video. It needs to be seen by all. Hope you look at it. Hope you share it. But I wanted to cut into this and just answer the question. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Twitter is censoring people. We got the Project Veritas video from multiple sources inside their operation years ago, where they used the terms blacklist and block trends, and they admit they do that, and they do it all the time. So it's just very insulting. By the way, they were having those hearings. I was there listening to Jack Dorsey lie the entire time. These people have gotten away with murder, completely out of control, and now all the chickens are coming home to roost. This is a big Friday broadcast lined up for all of you. Straight ahead, please stay with us.
I'm tired of it.
It is Friday, July 17th. The year is 2020. We are 108 days out from the election. I'm your host, Alex Jones, and we have 3 big guests on the transmission today, and I also intend to open the phones up. Thank you so much for joining us. We were supposed to be off the air a long time ago, but thanks to your support, thanks to your prayers, thanks to your action, we are still on air. We are still changing the world together. And I can tell you that President Trump and a lot of his top advisors, a lot of his top researchers do watch the show and see it as a bellwether or the pulse of the republic. and that we are really having a big effect on the planet to the outrage of criminal insiders like Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, George Soros, and the globalists that control them and pull their strings. All right, let me tell you what's coming up today.
Yeah, well, hold on. Let me loosen up the vest to make sure.
We have Billy Weber with some really important news concerning Joe Biden and what his real agenda is joining us.
Yeah, that feels good.
And we also are going to have the Hodge twins on the broadcast as well.
Do I look all right?
Dr. Nick Begich and more is coming up today. Now, that said,
I mean, so like my chest.
The entire trans agenda is out in the open now, and they're officially taking the word female or woman off of medical documents across the United States and Europe. So now the word female is bad. Females existing is bad. And that's what J.K. Rowling's, a big liberal leftist, finally figured out, lady, is this is about getting rid of women's spaces, women's rights, and attacking the species. If you want to attack a species, you attack women. But first you claim you're all about women and want to protect them. Meanwhile, big news came out yesterday but got almost no attention. It's confirmed in court documents. It's not denied. The state is calling it a legitimate forced treatment for young boys in
the flashbang came and we were standing next
the foster care system and the juvenile justice system to forcibly give them hormone therapy, in quotes. Hitler just should have called the death camps therapy and would have been okay, according to the media. Big deal. Well, that ties into UK NHS cervical cancer testing leaflet. Doesn't mention women, offers help to trans men. That's right. This is the mental illness. A man comes in with male genitals, and they fired nurses before in the UK when they say, I want a pap smear. And the woman says, you have a tallywhacker. And they say, you will check my cervix. You will do a pap smear. And if you don't go along with the mental illness, you're fired. This is the incredible control.
That's right. That was the first day. Everybody thinks
that goes on. This is the New World Order
but that Friday
manipulation.
Didn't really make a lot of the news because it was late at night.
Now,
and I was the only camera.
That's going to be coming
down
up.
there. You know, like it looked like the protest.
But the first thing I want to cover today
on that Friday. Oh, thank you.
Is the Twitter situation, and then I'm going to get into the big issue that everything else is connected to. The martial law we're under, instituted by multinational UN directives, the counties, the cities, the states that are under globalist control. And that's what they are. They are globalist collaborators in every sense of the word. And that is what they're using these directives to do, is to keep us locked down when the rest of the world is not locked down. This is designed to punish the United States via the bureaucracy and the medical tyranny. We're trying to get out from under the New World Order and win a trade war with the globalist golden child, communist China.
Fowler, but his handwriting sucks. Imagine that.
And as America realizes that those in league with the Chi-Coms, the globalist, Hollywood, and this America-hating wave of hundreds of Jesus statues having their heads cut off this week.
Minutes, so it's been at least 11
hundreds of Virgin Marys toppled this week. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other statues destroyed, and Satanist monuments put up in many other places, and hundreds of churches burned in the last week. That this is a global satanic spiritual attack on our very biology, on our very physiology, on our very soul. So that is coming up as well. But huge news as Trump goes to war with Fauci and Bill Gates and realizes what's really going on. And Trump is listening. As I've been saying, he's got to not just sideline Fauci, he's got to discredit him. And Trump has that through surrogates happening. And so now Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, who works for Bill Gates. Basically, Mark Zuckerberg is Bill Gates.
I'm still on fire from
He's his minion, his ring wraith, his Nazgul. They are out attacking Trump, saying the The COVID-19 is the fault of the president. He's refusing to lead. He's a bad guy. All of it's a lie. And then Fauci's comparing COVID-19 to the Spanish flu that killed 50 million people. This has not even killed 1 million worldwide, if you believe the fake numbers. And they're just taking regular numbers of other deaths, putting it in the column. It was only 8 states that were following the NIH and CDC directive to count everybody that dies as COVID-19. And that's where you got most of the numbers. Texas, sickeningly, is the only Republican state to have joined it. Well, Alabama just joined it. Alabama's going to count everybody that dies as COVID. In fact, there's other articles out today about people dying in a car wreck, COVID-19. Gunshot wound, COVID-19. It is such a galactic level fraud. But speaking of collaborators, I want to play a clip, a 3-minute clip as we go to break, of Attorney General Barr warns of Chinese efforts to dominate industries, calls out Hollywood tech giants for caving to pressure, and uses a keyword, collaborating. That's a keyword in law, because this is collaboration with our enemies. And that's what it is. We are at war. So here is the Attorney General taking the gloves off.
Big tech companies have also allowed themselves to become pawns of Chinese influence. In the year 2000, when the United States normalized trade relations with China, President Clinton hailed the new century as one in which liberty will be spread by cell phone and cable modem. Instead, over the course of the next decade, American companies such as Cisco helped the Chinese communists build the Great Firewall of China, the world's most sophisticated system for internet surveillance and censorship. Over the years, corporations such as Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, and Apple have shown themselves all too willing to collaborate with the CCP. For example, Apple recently removed the news app Quartz from its App Store in China after the Chinese government complained about the coverage of Hong Kong democracy protests. Apple also removed the apps for virtual private networks, which had allowed users to circumvent the Great Firewall, and eliminated pro-democracy songs from the Chinese music store. Meanwhile, the company announced that it would be transferring some of its iCloud data to servers in China, despite concerns that the move would give the Communist Party easier access to emails, text messages, and other user information stored in the iCloud. Recently, we were able to get into 2 cell phones used by the Al-Qaeda terrorist who shot 8 Americans at the Pensacola Naval Air Station, and during the gunfight with him, he stopped, disengaged, put his cell phones down, and tried to destroy them, shooting a bullet into one of his 2 cell phones. And we thought that suggested that there might be very important information about terrorist activities in those cell phones. And for 4.5 months, we tried to get in without any help at all from Apple. Apple failed to give us any help getting into those cell phones. We were ultimately able to get in through a fluke that we will not be able to reproduce in the future, where we found communications with Al-Qaeda operatives in the Middle East up to the day before the attack. Do you think when Apple sells phones in China, that Apple phones in China are impervious to penetration by Chinese authorities?
No, they gave them the code keys on record. When the Twitter hack happened, I recognized it was a message right away about who got hit. Clearly, the Bitcoin scam was just a cover for who was really behind it and what was going on. And you better believe it's patriots inside U.S. intelligence agencies. And you better believe all that information with the control panel's real, because I've already talked to Twitter operatives that have told me about the control panel. It's already been in documents and an undercover video that Veritas got 3 different executives admitting the control panel. So we know that he lied to Congress, but that's Not really what this is about. It's about letting Twitter know that they can be gutted 7 ways to Sunday, and that I guess the intelligence agencies have a lot of ways to get back at communist collaborators. So these guys like to act like they're in charge all day. They're not in charge. And people like Jack Dorsey better watch his ass. And so should Eric Schmidt and Barack Obama and Bill Gates and all of them, because we're not here looking for a fight. But if they come with a fight, they better believe they're going to get one, and they are getting one. So I'll cover that more next hour. But the next 108 days is the most incredible time ever. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm going to get more into it next hour, but it's a big deal. Separately, I cannot impart to listeners and viewers and affiliates and sponsors and all of you how important you are and how amazing you are, and the fact that you weathered the storms, the attacks, the psychological warfare, the deplatforming, and you kept us in attack formation. You kept us in the game to press the attack, and we've done it, and we've come through it, and we're still in the fight, stronger than ever, thanks to you. I salute and thank you, and I just want to ask you, think about the time you live in, and don't waste every precious second and minute and hour we have in day. And to tell everybody you know about that local radio station, that local TV station, to thank that local station, to become a sponsor or to support the sponsor, and call the station and thank them, call the sponsor and thank them, and then go into that flooring or carpet place, or go into that car dealership, or go to that restaurant, or go to that church that is supporting this broadcast, and tell people about Band.video. Tell people about newswars.com and say, hey, you've heard this demonized? Find out why it's demonized. Find out what's really happening there, what's really being said, not what the media edits together and puts out. And again, ladies and gentlemen, there is just so much unfolding, and it's such a historic time that we are all in. I just want everybody to think about each millisecond lost is precious. People are ready to hear the truth now. America is fighting a global consortium literally trying to bankrupt us and cause a giant race war and break our back forever. Do you really want that? Even if you, again, are an atheist sociopath, you wouldn't want the country to go belly up. Almost no one is going to get more power out of this except a very tiny group, and they're doing it, and they're already in power. They're going to hurt their own investments in their own system because it's a spiritual fight, and they are slaves executing an operation. So please think about visiting InfoWarsStore.com. We have the Christmas in July sale going right now. Store ad free shipping, double Patriot points. A lot of things that were sold out are back in. Turbo Force 50% off. Rainforce Plus 50% off. Survival Shield X2 50% off. Survival Shield X3 50% off. Lung Cleanse 50% off. Vitamin Infusion 50% off. Bodies 50% off. Ultra 12 50% off. Vazobees 50% off. DNA Force Plus 50% off. Winter Sun Plus 50% off. Living Defense 50% off. Chill Force 50% off. Super Female Vitality, hadn't done that in a while, 50% off. BioTrue Selenium 50% off. Extendawise 50% off. Alexa Pure Breeze at cost $149. 4-stage ion filter. Leading competitors are $500, aren't even as good. Storable food back, ready to be shipped within 3 to 4 weeks. Super high quality. That is a checklist you've got to get done. AM, PM, 8-pack power stack, 50% off. InfoWarsStore.com. And we do have some new products that I'm going to announce and launch at the bottom of the next hour. Just going to let you know about that. We're ready to launch a bunch of those I told you about that would have been the sale this week. And so we got the certificate on 8 of the 10 items. So we're going to tell you about those. And that's makes your life better, makes our life better, funds the operation in the face of the enemy. And you can know you stand with us, you back us with word of mouth, prayer, and money. I will not ever give up. I will put a gun to my head. Impossible. Cannot sell out. Physically cannot happen. Totally committed to just a crazed goblin-like level. And that's the spirit we're going to have is just total commitment, where there's not even a question of the commitment. You are committed. It's not like you're fighting to be committed or you're going 110%. You're going 5,000%. And it's in that spirit that you will find empowerment and enlightenment and victory. We cannot give in to this enemy. If it was some superior system that was going to make things better, I would just adopt it. I'd marry into it. Like that. This is not something superior. This sucks. It's evil. It stinks. And I will defeat it or I'll die trying. Liberty or death is not some tough guy's thing. That's what founded this country. Liberty or death, victory or death, because it's death to bow and be a slave. And then you metaphysically betray all those that came before you that fought incredibly valiantly for every little bit of human liberty that was scratched and clawed away from tyrants. And we are running through the reserves of what our ancestors built, and we're on fumes right now. But right as the engine starts seizing up and clacking and black smoke starts coming out the back of the tailpipe, people are finally remembering what freedom's all about. Oh, what's up with the American flags? What's up with the Texas flag? You know, what's up with all this? Until you realize they're replacing it with something horrible. And that a bunch of people fought for this system we have that isn't perfect, but by God, it's the enemy's #1 threat because it has the idea of freedom beaten in its big red heart with that red, rich blood that we've all got. That blood that unifies us all as humans. The globalists are anti-human. They are your enemy. And I said I'd get to this segment, the huge COVID-19 news, and I did. And Millie Weaver's coming up. I'll hit this start of the next hour. It's so important. And then I'll hit the huge news on Twitter. This is exactly what we need to see. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And these people are all Chi-Com collaborators. And we're at war right now. And they want to bring in a police state that targets the American people and shuts down our system. I say cut the hell.
Crazy as this, these guys look like they were just coming home. And then they bump into this barricade here. It looks like the SPD is actually moving back. They're retreating now at the moment. They very well might feel that there's enough space where these guys, the protesters, are off of the main road where they wanted them from, and now they're retreating here at the moment. So now we've got this group of protesters that are over here.
The president executes. The president is executed. We have to be there to encourage and greenlight the president and those that are faithful in our government and the corporate structure and the system to make the right move right now and choose American values at the most critical time in our history since 1776. In fact, quite frankly, the evil we were facing back then was nothing compared to this. I mean, this is so cut and dry. King George is an angel. King George is these people.
I think that we need to find the rest of the media, fam. All the media need to stick together out here. This is funky.
The truth is,
we got cut off when we went up on the Seattle Central campus. So the rest of the media got swept down with the protesters. So what we're going to try to do is find the photographers. So we're all in the same area and we're all sticking together.
COVID-19 is as bad as the Spanish flu of 1918 that killed 50 million people, even though it's not even killed 600,000 worldwide. And that's using fake numbers as well. I've got stacks of this here today in Georgia, in Alabama, in Florida, and in North Carolina. I don't know why it's on the East Coast. Fatal motorcycle crash listed as COVID-19 death in Florida.
Denny and Harvard, and for people watching here, it looks like I guess you would say a break in action. Don't worry. Yeah. Don't worry. It's gonna go away. Like after a few hours, just you got to stop touching your face. So basically, what I'm saying here is that it's a reprieve right now, but what we're going to probably see happen here fairly soon, what we're going to see, and now here's some people who live in the neighborhood arguing with the protester. She's saying, I have kids here. I have kids here. This woman said that she has kids here. She gives no, thank you guys heard. She said, I don't care where you guys take it, but not here. There's children here. Period. I give no F's. I'm tired of it.
How would anyone vote for this blubbering,
He said, "Don't yell at his sisters." He says, "Black woman, she has 3 kids at home. Don't be yelling at his sisters." So that's what these gentlemen right here are saying.
Well, Alex, I thought it was imperative that I come on to tell the American people just what we could be getting ourselves into if Joe Biden becomes the next president of the United States.
What's up?
Many people view him to be somewhat of a moderate candidate, and that's purely just because that's the propaganda that the mainstream media has been putting in.
It's not what? Cardiac related? Man, what is this right here? It's my upper. Yeah, I think I got hit with a projectile there. Yeah, well, hold on. Let me loosen up the vest to make sure. My ribs, it's too tight to tell if they're okay.
He's actually going to create specific White House climate change task force, environmental police. I mean,
my ribs feel all right, but
police on the ground.
Yeah.
At the same time,
I mean, do I look all right?
You look
all right. Yeah, we got.
While they then say we need to create all these new.
Nah, I mean, so like my chest feels fine, my ribs feel fine. I think I can breathe fine. It's like I got hit here, and then something came underneath my shirt. I think I'm bleeding over there. I mean, it's not like some deep gash or anything, but I got some burns. It feels like a burn on my leg from where the flashbang exploded there.
Exactly, and
I can hear again though, which is good. You can't hear it, bro. It's like, oh, they hit you. The flashbang hit you in your head, huh?
He recognizes that communities of
there,
color
and all the blue. This is pepper spray. So this is one of our photographers right here. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he took the brunt. So the flashbang came. We were standing next to each other. The flashbang came and basically exploded right next to him. I was a little bit away from him, so all I got was like the impact of my ears ringing. But he's saying that he's still having a problem hearing.
Create an environmental justice division within the Department of Justice so they can start prosecuting businesses.
So as we now cross Harvard and Olive, you might know right there, that's Broadway. Harvard and Olive. Really quiet right now.
They're talking about targeting individuals for, oh, you ran your fireplace. That's illegal in San Francisco. Oh, you didn't do this. Oh, we found, an oil canister in the back of your field. You're going to jail. This is literally turning all the bureaucrats.
Hey, what's up?
They graduated out of these colleges. All these Antifa people.
Yeah, I remember talking about that Friday.
Yup.
Chinatown.
Yup.
Exactly. Not only that,
Yep, Friday the 29th. That's right. That was the first day. Everybody thinks that it was a Saturday downtown. But that Friday didn't really make a lot of the news because it was late at night and I was the only camera that was down there. Like it looked like the protests had dissipated because there were some small protests on that Friday. Oh, thank you. There were some small protests on that Friday, and the news media went home, and I was still down there in the International District, so it was the only camera that really saw what happened down there.
For things that they claim are, environmental hazards or
for a minute.
climate change problems.
So we passed Denny. Why is that important? Is Denny is a route downtown.
That COVID-19 is a result of
and Denny doesn't go too far from the West Precinct. Looks like everybody's continuing northbound here on Harvard.
And because the climate change caused it, we've got to make X, Y, Z changes. Exactly. It's always the same. And they also say that COVID-19 is good because it's going to teach us to lower our carbon footprint. That's what this really is.
Well, it's exactly what it is.
Hey, whoever asked you while I was doing something, thank you.
Doing their conferences still.
Appreciate it.
In these conferences, they actually discuss how they're using COVID-19 as a trigger point to enact this system shift. It's actually a system shift to the new normal. That's always what it's been. The new normal has nothing to do with COVID-19. They themselves talk within themselves about how they don't actually see it as that big of an issue like the pandemic.
Exactly. If they're going to fill about this right now, they admit in all their white papers, even in public publications at the highest level, it's about training us that things aren't normal now.
got another barricade going up.
Justice Advisory Council and how it talks about many of these people on the White House Environmental Justice Council are going to be well-known activists. So I wonder, gee, AOC, you don't think she's going to be on there? Give me a break. It's just insane.
So we hear sirens in the background. Hard to tell if they're coming to swear that. Man, where's Jake, man? Can you, John, can you call and see where Jake's at? Okay, Jake and Bobby.
These other energy systems and moving completely to 100% green energy and putting
And does this blue ink come off?
Energy sector.
Wash off?
He talks about let's take back those Trump tax cuts from the American people, because then we'll raise $2 trillion.
I don't know, whatever it is we got hit with. So everybody's proceeding now, still north on Harvard. A lot of people might call this area North Broadway.
As if that's a bad thing. When they picked 1/4 of the carbon water, and then of course you've got
Black Lives Matter is an anti-fascist movement. It really is. Fuck fascism. Fuck anybody that supports fascism. Fuck anybody that hates anti-fascism. Now crossing Harrison, Broadway and Harrison. Hey John, so I was saying we had our what do the people call it? You take time for yourself. This was supposed to be the self-care weekend, remember? We planned on it like, oh man, we're gonna get out of town, you know, turn off all the phones, turn off the cameras. Yeah, a pool in Vegas would definitely feel good right now, but the way I feel a pool anywhere, I mean, I'll go to the kiddie pool over there at Leshire Elementary. If they still got one. Even that pool would feel good. My whole body's burning, fam. So. Huh? Yeah, it's. Oh, hold on. What'd you ask me? Oh, you got baby wipes? Yeah. I'll take some baby wipes. I'm willing to try anything right now. Biggest thing is my neck. Oh, thank you. Please. Thank you. John, baby wipes. See if we can wipe some of this off our face. Woo. Thank you. That's saving the day. Man. Bobby Steels, you gotta start packing baby wipes, man. You know what I'm saying? We need a supply of baby wipes. Oh, oh man, bro, you got so much blue all over you right now. It's crazy. I got hit with the blue and the pink.
I guess the intelligence agencies have ways to get back at communist governments. So these guys like to act like they're in charge all day. They're not in charge.
So you see a lot of comments right there. Man, thanks. Hey man, ground level. Thank you so much. Did I get what? Yeah, but I'm all right. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's kind of the risk we take of being out here. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got like jammed up, but you know, I mean, we came out here. So. Oh man, you got another water? Thank you, John. So the protest is now, I mean, it continues to move north on Harvard as we approach Well, Roy is the next block. This would be Mercer. Yeah, this would be Mercer right here. Passing Mercer over Roy. That's where Cornish used to be. I don't know if Cornish still has a campus up there on Roy. But the north end of Broadway. This is also an alternate route to downtown Seattle. Roy Street actually comes down off the hill and jumps down into to East Lake. So Roy goes down the hill to East Lake. So we're not sure where everything is heading to at the moment. But if it is heading downtown, this is probably going to be, they'll probably be turning left or to the west at the next block when we get to Roy.
Hear the truth now. America is fighting a global consortium, literally trying to bankrupt us and cause a giant race war and break our back forever. Do you really want that? Even if you, again, are an atheist sociopath, you wouldn't want the country to go down.
See.
Almost no one is going to get power out of this. It's a very tiny
On Easttown,
and they're doing it, and they're already in power. They're going to hurt their own investments.
We hear a trumpet playing in the background.
And they are slaves executing an operation. So please think about visiting InfoWarsStore.com. We have the Christmas in July sale going right now. Store up free shipping, double Patriot points. A lot of things that were sold out are back in. Airlow Force 50% off. Rainforce Plus 50% off. Survival Shield X2. 50% off. Survival Shield X3 50% off. Blood Plus 50% off. Vital 50% off. Bodies 50% off. Ultra-Troll 50% off. Bazzobi 50% off. DNA Force Plus 50% off. Winter Sun Plus 50% off. Living Defense 50% off. Chill Force 50% off. Super Female Vitality and Metal Oil 50% off. Bio Selenium 50% off. Extended Watch 50% off. Alexa Pure Breeze Pet Cost $149. 4-stage ion filter. Leading competitors at $500.
All right, heading back. This is Broadway, which is one block up over there. Some people up here, so we see people waving from the balcony. Some protesters. Protesters waving back. Drum out. So protesters have now reached Broadway and Roy. Protest is now back on Arterial Road, Broadway.
And it's in that spirit you will find empowerment and victory. We cannot get into the Senate. Some superior position. It's going to make things better.
So if I had to guess, I would say destination, maybe volunteer park. However, that's just a guess, so we'll see.
Liberty or death, victory or death, because it's death to bow and be a slave. And then you metaphysically betray all those that came before you, that fought incredibly valiantly for every little bit of human liberty that was scratched and clawed away. Tyrants. And we are running through the reserves of our ancestors' blood. And we're on fumes right now. Right as the engine starts easing up the black and black smoke starts to come back, people are finally remembering.
So this is the north end going towards, well, definitely north of Broadway's end. I believe this is the 10th. Where I'm right now, going towards the northern end of Capitol Hill. We stay straight on this route. It dead ends. And you can either go to the west and be down on East Lake, or you go to the right, and it's kind of a windy road, take you down by Mont Lake.
I'll hit this start of the next hour. Twitter. This is exactly what we need to see. There's only one way to skin a cat. And these people are all trying to collaborate.
Well, we do hear sirens. Looks like there's a fire truck, so they're telling everybody to make room for a fire truck or ambulance. So they're clearing the road. They're clearing the road for the fire truck. Fire truck going a different direction.
They attacked us. They're attacking the system. They're trying to overthrow everything and bring it how it's set. It's a dereliction of duty. Unless the president executes, and the president is executing. We have to be there to encourage and green light the president and those that are faithful in the government and the corporate structure and the system to make the right move right now and choose American values. It's the most critical time in our history since 1776. In fact, quite frankly, the evil we were facing back then was nothing compared to this. I mean, this is so cut and dry. King George is an angel. King George III compared to this. A sweetie, a wonderful man compared to this. We just weren't being treated fairly, so we had to have that rule. This is beyond that. The truth is, everything the globalists are doing is outrageously disruptive to this country and the average person, not just here but around the world. Their COVID-19 hoax online has already caused over 2 million people to starve to death. Over 3 million sick to die. That's official UN numbers. Using false UN numbers. They tell us COVID-19 is bad.
Baby wipes? Yeah. Man, don't pass up the baby wipes, man. We can have the whole pack or what? Yeah, man, thanks. All right, so look, it looks like Facebook, they're going to cut me here. It's a 4 hour maximum here. A few times Facebook has let me keep the stream. I remember one time, man, we streamed for like 7-8 hours.
In places like Alabama and Texas. Shameful. Shameful.
Crazy as this. These guys, like, they were just coming home. And then they bump into this barricade here. It looks like the SPD is actually moving back. They're retreating now at the moment. They very well might feel that there's enough space where these guys, the protesters, are off of the main road where they wanted them from, and now they're retreating there at the moment. So now we've got these people protesters that are over here.
She's gone through and compared it to AOC's grain deal. It's the exact same deal. It's the Rothschild deal. It's the New World Order deal. It's Europe, the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. You have no industry.
I think that we need to find the rest of the media, fam. All the media need to stick together out here. This is funky. We got cut off when we went up on the Seattle Central campus. So the rest of the media just got swept down with the protesters. So what we're going to try to do is find the photographers. So we're all in the same area. And we're all sticking together. Denny and Harvard, and people watching here. It looks like I guess you would say a break in action. No one. Yeah. Don't worry. It's gonna go away. Like after a few hours, just you gotta stop touching your face. So basically, what I'm saying here is that it's a reprieve right now, but what we're going to probably see happen here fairly certain soon, we're going to see it now. Here's some people who live in the neighborhood arguing with the protester. She's saying, I have kids here. I have kids here. This woman said that she has kids here. She gives no, I think you guys heard. She said, I don't care where you guys take it, but not here. There's children here. Period. I give no F's. I'm tired of it.
These corporations or businesses, whatever, that loot.
He said, don't yell at the system. He says, black woman, she has 3 kids at home, don't be yelling at the system. So that's what this gentleman right here is saying. So, fire over here. What's up?
Businesses and people, if they're not following stringent climate change guidelines.
It's not what? Cardiac related? Man, what is this right here? It's my upper. Yeah, I think I got hit with a projectile there. What did you hit? Yeah, well, hold on. Let me loosen up the vest to make sure. No, ribs, it's too tight to check. So,
Exactly. Not only that, they talk about setting up social systems around these neighborhoods so that it makes
yeah, no, my ribs feel all right, but yeah. I mean, do I look all right? All right. Yeah, we got. Nah, I mean, so like. My chest feels fine, my ribs feel fine, I think I can breathe fine. It's like I got hit here and then something came underneath my shirt. I think I'm bleeding over there. I mean, it's not like some deep gash or anything, but I got some burn. It feels like a burn on my leg. I don't know where the flashbang exploded there. I can hear again though, which is good. You can't hear it, bro. It's like, oh, they hit you. The flashbang hit you in your head, huh? There you go. Right there, and all the blue. This is pepper spray. So this is one of our photographers right here. And yeah, I mean, he took the brunt. So the flashbang came. We were standing next to each other. The flashbang came and basically exploded right next to him. I was a little bit away from him, so all I got was like the impact of my ears ringing, but he's saying that he's still having a problem hearing.
And in these conferences, they actually discuss how they're using COVID-19 as a
so as we now cross Harvard and Olive, you might know right there, that's Broadway. Harvard and Olive. It's really quiet right now. You know?
Within themselves about how they don't actually see it as that big of an issue like the pandemic was.
Exactly that. I think they're making a film about this right now. They admit in all their white papers, even in public publications, the highest level.
Hey, what's up?
Training us that things aren't normal now. There's a new normal.
Yeah, I remember talking about that Friday.
Yep. Friday the 29th. That's right. That was the first day. Everybody thinks that it was Saturday downtown.
We're going to punish you if you're bad. It is the Chinese social credit score. It is a revolution, and COVID-19 is their cover.
Yeah, and talk about how he's going to establish a White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council, and how he talks about many of these people on the White House Environmental Justice Council are going to be well-known activists. So I wonder, gee, AOC, you don't think she's going to be on there? Give me a break. It's just insane. And even outside of his environmental justice policies, he also has his clean energy policies where he talks about dismantling coal, dismantling these other energy systems and moving completely to 100% green energy and putting $2 trillion into the green energy sector, while at the same time he talks about let's take back those Trump tax cuts from the American people, because then we'll raise $2 trillion from them. So they want to take it from Americans and give it to these green energy giants who don't really need the government subsidies in the first place.
Of course, it's all about transferring power, and they admit from Spain that was under their control that the energy cost twice as much and had twice as big a carbon footprint, as if that's a bad thing. When they picked carbon to regulate, they picked 1/4 of the carbon cycle. Light, water, And then, of course, you've got to have oxygen and you've got to have carbon dioxide. They pick carbon dioxide because it sounds scary. It's not. What plants breathe. To target that, as you know, Millie, and they're just raging forward. People say, oh, well, they'll never get this through. As we've seen with COVID-19, it's about big tech, big industry, green mafia working with the blue cities and states to implement this whether we like it or not. That's what the COVID-19 hoax is about all of these special interests and all of these corporations working in unison as a mafia to come in and muscle in. We need the government that we set up to protect our rights to now guard against this enemy attack. We've got Millennium Millie with us. Millie Weaver is here with us for another segment. We're going to come back and look at the other side of the pincer attack, not just Joe Biden, but these so-called virtual campaign events that are coming up and the virtual event that they're talking about canceling already. It was 10 years ago. 10 years. 10 years ago that Audi at the Super Bowl ran ads with green police, actual uniforms that liberal cities have set up with real police departments, showing checkpoints on highways, homes being SWAT teamed for not following the proper green edicts, where then you have to adopt the technology that the Rothschilds literally own. They own the global carbon exchange in London. You have to pay them for every gallon of gas you use, everything. Al Gore, Bill Clinton, they're all heavily invested in these mercanting us here, getting into Joe Biden's nightmare UN announcements that would destroy what's left of the Midwest and some of the areas that have barely recovered after 3.5 years of Trump. How on earth could anybody vote for Joe Biden in the Midwest or in the East, Millie Weaver?
I have no idea. If you're voting for Joe Biden, you're essentially voting for a new world order. But see, that's not the term that they use anymore, Alex. They now use a liberal world order. I kid you not. They use that term within the Sunrise Movement, within UN, within all of their talks. They say liberal world order. That's what they're going for. And all of it surrounds climate justice and environmentalism. So Joe Biden is going full tilt boogie down that road. We discussed how the Sunrise Movement kind of extorted their way onto Biden's climate task force by having all these girls within their movement start to threaten and claim that they're going to have #MeToo political stunts against Joe Biden. Next thing you know, Joe Biden says, oh, AOC and
that's right. You broke this a month ago, and now we're seeing the fruit of how Soros plays dirty. Just incredible.
Yes, it's very incredible. So Joe Biden is just as extreme as Senator Sanders or any of those other politicians that were running. He's no better. And Joe Biden, another thing is, he's coming for your guns. You know, we'd hear, not only does he want to grab your daughter, but he wants to grab your guns. So watch out. Joe Biden has his policies laid out on his website. He's coming for your AR-15. He says he's going to do the buyback programs. He's going to confiscate the AR-15s or assault weapons, which is a very vague term.
And by the way, Millie, as you know, everything you're saying, we put what the CFR is saying. We're now the liberal world order. We're going to use race war for control. Joe Biden officially 2 weeks ago adopted Bernie Sanders' entire platform. What do you think is going to happen at the convention? They're trying to make everything virtual. I don't think Trump should give into this fear. He should have his convention. The Democrats are going to have a virtual convention. You're going to be covering it.
Yes, I think Trump needs to push forward as he would have normally pushed forward. I think the reason they're creating all of this is to try to hide the fact that Joe Biden doesn't have as much of support as they would hope for him to have. Try to hide the fact that he's really weak at debating. He has issues from his strokes and whatever else. But, I mean, they know that his policies are going to be called out. They know that Trump is going to be the person to lay out just how bad Joe Biden is. And I think that they're just trying to avoid that. They're trying to avoid any messy smears that might happen.
Well, that's it. They're trying to muffle and shut down the president, and they don't want people to challenge Biden at the convention, but they want to challenge Trump at the convention. And if it's virtual, that will make it a lot easier to do, and there's not real people there. So everybody needs to go to that convention. Millie, pulling back from this, in the aftermath of you exposing these globalist-funded Sunrise Movement and Soros, what's the latest? I know you're working on part 3 of that report.
Okay, so like I said, we still have an undercover within there collecting information. Some of the stuff that's going on is we're following Slack accounts, which they're utilizing to actually search out children that are elementary age. Previously, we discussed how they were targeting middle school and high school age kids. The Slack accounts, they are now going into that and searching out elementary age kids. They're kind of moving to an even younger generation. This is a
because that's what predators do. I mean, they need somebody that doesn't know what's their surroundings that they can creep over to.
Okay, so we have AOC and other progressive Democrats talking about how they're raising funds in China and other foreign countries. So how can you be raising campaign funds in other foreign countries? It makes you wonder, do they know that this is illegal, or are they just being so bold and blatant that they're not worried about it? I mean,
wow, so you've got that with the undercover info coming out.
Yeah, we've got what appears to be IIA operations using phone systems with automatic generated text message systems that got leaked out to even message boards on 4chan, 8chan. And
I know you've got a lot of great sources, Millie. What are they saying about the Twitter hack? I mean, from my info, that's Patriot U.S. intelligence penetrating all the private messages of the top globalists and letting them know they've been compromised and that the Bitcoin thing is just a cover.
I don't know about the Twitter hack, but I know about this other hack that happened where they put this information out for this IIA ShadowNet type dashboard operation where other people on 4chan, 8chan are now able to troll the contacts, the mega contacts. Think of it, all the people that send their email out to like AOC's campaign, Ilhan Omar's campaign, Biden's campaign, you know, Bernie, all them, right? That all that data is collected, the emails, right? That all got leaked out through a ShadowNet type dashboard on 4chan, 8chan, and now you have other people in other countries sending out bulk messages to these people. Like, oh, like just like Twitter, donate money to whatever, They'll bulk send it out to people's phones, and they'll think they're getting it from like Ilhan Omar's campaign, but they're actually getting it from some foreigner in another country, and they're donating money to them. I mean, it's just all-out chaos is ensuing. I mean, it's pretty wild, but that has more to do with the IIA ShadowNet aspect that we talked about the other time I went on the show.
Sure, the Democrats have let so many criminals into their system. They're just got criminals and they're stealing the data and selling it.
Yeah, it's really bad. And remind you, this is PSYOP, psychological warfare tools that were developed for the military through private contracts. And the private contracts were able to maintain the rights to that software. And
by the way, Twitter is now confirming that that dashboard and all that's basically real, and it was employee tools. So the head of Twitter's been caught red-handed lying to Congress, Millie.
I believe it. I believe it. I mean, it's wild what's going on with Silicon Valley and big tech and how corrupt they are. It's all being exposed. We've seen what Project Veritas has been doing and James O'Keefe have been doing. It's amazing work. They're exposing the shadow banning, the bias, all that. But there's also other operations on the social media companies that the social media companies are not stopping, but they're not part of necessarily. And these are IIA operations, Internet Interactive Activity operations by intelligence contractors.
And let's explain, Obama 8 years ago, quote, legalized the CIA engaging in domestic propaganda. That meant all the money, all of it. And Trump never got control of that. That's still all operating outside of things. I've challenged Pompeo and Barr to do something about it. It looks like they're beginning to take control of that. I can't get into the specifics. I've been asked not to. But I can tell people that Google has been partially recaptured by U.S. intelligence. It was always set up by U.S. intelligence, but it had been handed over to multinationals and the Chinese. So as far as Google goes, about 3 weeks ago, they began to buckle to whatever this internal war is, Millie.
Yeah, you know, they actually, interestingly, Obama actually made that rule where he legalized propaganda not long after the creation and development of ShadowNet. And then when they then privatized it, it was like, boom, all right, let's legalize propaganda. Let's start deploying these on social media. And you can actually see that shift change from when Facebook was just all family pictures, happy and fun, to then, boom, it's all political propaganda. And these are psychological operations being deployed on the American public.
Sure, for those that don't know, we're not speculating. It's all on record that the CIA had this for war zones. And then Obama 8 years ago legalized it for deployment against the American people, and now Katie bar the door. But that's where InfoWars comes in. Organic resistance with the truth against the enemy. 5 more minutes with Millie Weaver. Then I'm going to get into the latest on the Twitter hack, the latest on the COVID-19 hoax and where it's going, and so much more. Please stay with us. Hour number 2 is straight ahead. I want to ask Millie from her sources what she thinks Trump's about to do, and is he taking the gloves off? My intel is he is. We're 108 days out from the election. This is a critical time. Stay with us. Millie Weaver's our guest. I'm Alex Jones, your host, and we're living in such epic times. People overuse that term. Such incredible times. I have trouble finding words to describe how amazing they are. Trump's completely for real, loves America, trying to get us a fair deal, isn't for the New World Order. He's pulling us out of all these wars. He's battling the Chi-Coms. He now understands that Fauci and Gates are running a scam on him. Because it's hard to believe that the audience of this show and our guest, we know more than Trump does. Because he's inculcated in all these disinfo operations and all these schools of thought where the people in them actually don't know what they're operating in. They're compartmentalized. We are not. That we shouldn't even call ourselves InfoWars. We are decompartmentalized. Generalists who've studied history and who have been immersed, myself since childhood, in real politics. And those of us that are into all this, we just think everybody knows this information. They don't. The average person doesn't know the 3 branches of government. And Trump just thinks, well, I'll promote Americana and they'll like it, and globalism's a bad deal. But there are people that are whose ideology is to destroy America. That's their cult. Trump's like, here's money, here's power, join us. And he's like, why don't you join us? This is a better deal for everybody. Because they're evil, Trump. And Trump now knows it's a fight between good and evil. He's drunk the Kool-Aid in a good way. So